pronunciation sheet.
Well, we have.
Yeah, and that's probably the only one it's actually really come in handy for.
Yeah, and I've ignored it. Lara Shaw, Ellie Nightingale, Ella Porter, Megan Pittman, the wicketkeeper, Tash Allen, Millie Gray, skipper Adriana Darlow, Rhiannon Noling-Davis, Francesca Clark and Caitlin McDonald. Northamptonshire Steelbacks from in Gemma Marriott, their skipper, at the top of the order with Amelia Kemp, Mabel Reid, Ariana Dowse, Bella Howarth, Catherine Speed, Lenny Sims, Ella Phillips, Poppy Smart, the wicketkeeper, Anisha Patel and Emily Carpenter. So there we are, our two umpires whose first names I have not got, I'm afraid, to. It's umpires Coyne and Spragg. My apologies for not getting their first names. Both sets of players are gathered by the dugouts. And it's interesting, Freddie. I mean, I've only watched from afar, unfortunately, this season. A lot of games clash with the men's team and all the rest of it. But these two teams appear to be pretty evenly matched.
Yeah, they certainly do. I think the worry from a Derbyshire perspective is there's only sort of your 4 out-and-out bowlers in this team. And watching the warm-up, both Kuza and Shaw were both having a bowl. Now, they've not bowled at all this season. And without Maria Andrews, I'm not quite sure why. She is on loan from the Blazers Academy, as is Lara Shaw. So whether she's got commitments there or she's injured, I'm not sure. She took 5 for 17 in the reverse fixture. So that seems a big loss. And with Derbyshire winning the toss and batting first, I think because they are light on the bowling, they need to go big with the bat today, which has been a bit of a struggle this season.
Right. You see, that's the kind of insight we're looking for. The two opening batters, Cowser and Shaw, are just walking towards the boundaries. That's the umpires are on their way out, and the Northamptonshire Steelbacks women are in a huddle because, man, you've got to get yourself into a huddle. I think what I might do, I might dial that down and dial it back because it's going to irritate the living daylights out of me. You won't miss anything. We will be 2 minutes. We won't be 2 minutes. It will be less than that. And we will be right back with you for the start of this game.
Glen Sounder, GSGC 90161868684370. Dialing 01618684370. Trying broadcast call. Connected. Searching. Framed.
You see, we're back, even before the players have got out in the middle properly. So hopefully that's the end of any glitches that we might have in the system for this afternoon's game here at the Central Co-op County Ground. Another game coming up at 6:30 as well. Those listening on anyway, will be streamed by Derbyshire, of course. As it is. It will be on BBC Radio Derby's FM, AM transmitters and on BBC Sounds. And it's going to be Emily Carpenter to bowl the first over. She's bowling from the City end and initially bowling to Jess Cowser. And here we go. And Cowser just guides that backward point on the offside, and they scamper through for a comfortable single. A slight misfield there at a backward point.
Carpenter, one of a few players, plenty of loanees across both sides. Derbyshire, of course, the Blaze just down the road, Northants of Essex, and also the Blaze as their loan team. It's a very prominent feature, really, this season. Even sort of Tier 1 players coming down to Tier 2, and then the other way around in the instances of teams like Yorkshire, and it can get very confusing to stay on top of.
Carpenter left armour in and bowls, and that one is crashed out into the offside by Shaw. She's going to get the first boundary of the day, and that races across to the cover boundary. So excellent start for Lara Shaw. Picks up a boundary first ball that she faces, and all of a sudden I got them the wrong way around.
No, that is Shaw.
Yeah. That's the scoreboard that's got them the wrong way around. Excellent. All of a sudden Derbyshire are 5 for no wicket after 2 deliveries. When we get rid of this, there we go. Yeah, they've got it the wrong way around. Excellent. In comes Carpenter again, bowls, and that one again pushed into the offside. They're going to run on the loss. Shaw on 5, Kuza on strike, and she's gone for the huge mo, trying to hit it into next week, and pushed it about 5 yards into the onside, and there's no run.
Well, Derbyshire were marketing this game as when the doubleheader has come and see Jess Kusa, come and see Anira Donald. They've put those two as the 2 power hitters, and that's definitely Kusa's role, her and Shaw. Shaw started the season well, hasn't really gone big as she'd have liked to in this competition. Had a couple of big scores in the One Day Cup, and Kusa's been one of Derbyshire's star players in this tournament.
Carpenter in again. That one is lifted out into the offside by Kusa. She's going to get 4 for that, I fancy, although it does seem to be slowing up a little, but it eventually makes its way to the rope. And 4 more to Derbyshire, and they're into double figures there, 10 without loss. And we're still in the first over, and there's now going to be a change. The change that perhaps ought to have been made slightly earlier. The fielder on the leg side has come to the edge of the circle, and they're leaving Amelia Kemp out on the cover boundary where the ball has already crossed the rope twice, so that makes perfect sense. Both batters, Shaw and Kusa, have 5 each, 10 without loss. Carpenter is in again, and she just guides this one into the offside this time, Kusa. She moves on to 6, and at the first we did, thank you, Griff. 11 without loss, with 11 off the first over. Good start, Freddie. Good start by Derbyshire. If they can get upwards of 160, 170, that will put them in a really strong position.
Yeah, I think that would be their highest score of the season by far. Their 2 wins have been low-scoring thrillers, a very, very low-scoring thriller down at New Road against Worcester, where I think they chased down about 50-odd to win, and they sort of took their time to do it, and that was their first win of the season. And then beating Northants, where they bowled really well at Wantage Road, and just wonder how much the pressure is on them this game, and how John Dyson, with this young squad who know that finals day is still up for grabs. You talk about the other results going their way. The fact that those results involve Yorkshire mean they should go their way, and that does just put that bit of added pressure just to give themselves a chance. At least if it does, as you say, if it does rain at Repton, at least you can say, well, we did all we could if you win today.
We'll see some spin for the first time. Ella Phillips from the racecourse end around the wicket, a very high delivery, looping delivery towards Kusa, who drives into the offside. Straight to a fielder, though, unfortunately for her. And as a result, there is no one. I think that's Anisha Patel fielding at extra cover. The next delivery, just a bit of spin there and a bit of bounce. Kusa was slightly surprised by that, looking for the big hit, but couldn't do much with it. She just indicates that there was that little bit of extra bounce that she wasn't quite expecting, I don't think. I assume they'll use the same pitch for both, so the men will be watching with interest as this next delivery. Again, there's a bit of turn, but once more it's straight at the field, and then there's a slight yes-no. Then a shot at the stumps that misses and is well backed up by Mabel Reid, fielding at mid-off. Good job she was there. We've seen some overthrows in recent matches. This next delivery from Phillips is turned backward a square on the leg side, and again it's a dot ball, and this is becoming a bit of a frustration for Kusa.
Spin has been Derbyshire's struggle, and Northants in their reverse fixture, their 2 spinners after the power play bowled their full allocations, bowled the 8 overs all the way through, and conceded just 1 boundary, and really dried the runs up, and I'm not surprised they're going for it now.
They need to on this one, as she's gone for the big slog sweep and missed it. Again, looks down at the pitch rather accusingly. Scoreboard just went off briefly, which would be disastrous for me. 5 deliveries, 5 dot balls for Ella Phillips, who's in again. That's a full toss. She doesn't really take advantage of. There's a misfield at square leg. I was going to say she didn't take advantage. Yes, turn us off. Freddie. That's a good one.
This happened a couple of times. That someone's led the YouTube stream on. And yeah, it's interesting. The spinner bowling round the wicket. Bryony Gilgrass for Worcestershire, when Derbyshire were going well at Chesterfield. It was the first game of the Chesterfield Festival. And Worcestershire's leg spinner bowled her full allocation round the wicket. And I think she took 4 or 5 for. I think it was 5 for. And just really, bowled accurately as that over was there from Phillips. And Derbyshire were really unable to get hold of her. So a good second over that from Ella Phillips. Took 4 for against Yorkshire last month as well, which is good going against the might of Yorkshire in this division.
Speaking of Yorkshire, they've won the toss and elected to bat against Leicestershire at Grace Road. The 22 without loss after 2. New over from Carpenter is the first ball. It just guided by Kusa out towards that field on the cover boundary. And they go through for a single. She moves on to 8-13 without loss. Few in. I like this. There are a few in. And it's even more impressive when you think that to watch this game, you had to buy a ticket for tonight's game between Derbyshire and Bears. So well done to everybody for coming out and supporting the Derbyshire women. That one is pulled into the leg side by Shaw, but straight to a fielder who then fires the throw to the keeper. And bless her, Poppy Smart didn't stand a chance. Catherine Speed with the throw, Speed by name, etc. She absolutely hurled that in from square leg. No need for that.
That is a nightmare for the wicket. There's a few grumpier wicket keepers who'd have had a little bit of a word there.
I think I would have done if I'd been keeping wicket. That was pretty impressive. As this one is pulled into the leg side and goes through the hands of that fielder at square leg and actually has enough power to get all the way to the boundary. It was slightly disappointing, I think, from Catherine Speed. Standing at square leg next to the umpire, probably should have caught it. But it was hit pretty hard by Shaw, who moves on to 9. And Derbyshire, well, they move on to 17 without loss.
Just maybe didn't quite time her jump there, but it's the power of Lara Shaw. When you swing hard and you hope for the best. It would have been a good catch.
Yeah, she'll probably think she should have taken it, especially after throwing the ball so hard at the wicketkeeper the ball before. There's Carpenter again. She's conceded 17, and that one is lifted over the head of the fielder at mid-on this time and away for 4 more by Shaw, who moves into double figures. She's on to 13 now, and Derbyshire up to 22 without loss in the 3rd over. Good start, this.
Well, the drop catch cost 3 more, and then, as always happens, the next ball goes for 4, and Lara Shaw, she's very still in her crease. It was just a swap, really, down the ground into the leg side, and yeah, they need this, obviously, looking to go after the seamer in Carpenter.
Who's in again from the city end and bowls to Shaw, who plays, and this is beaten on the inside, actually. Didn't bounce as much as she was expecting. Goes through to the keeper. Poppy Smart behind the stumps. Reenan's been in touch. Well done, Reenan. First one in South Africa. Nothing quite like sitting next to the fireplace and watching our girls play some cricket. Snowing over the distant mountains where the wind comes from, he says. He's in South Africa. Very nice too. It's very warm here, and Shaw pushes this one into the onside. Not as warm as it was at Northampton last Friday, I can tell you, when the commentary box was at least 40 degrees. It was very unpleasant.
No, it's a humid day, cloud cover, and as you say, interesting to see what this pitch does. There's been a bit of turn, in this T20 campaign, sort of for the men and women, and most of the women's games here, some very good wickets. Obviously, just haven't quite cashed in on. The same at Chesterfield as well, that lightning outfield.
Comes Carpenter to complete her second over, although she isn't completing her second over because that's been signalled wide down the leg side, which it was at 23 without loss. So 11 off her first over, 11 off this over. Ella Phillips has put more like Gazanfar, who 11 balls at Headingley on Sunday before he conceded a run off the bat in a T20 match and finished with 2 for 5 off 4 overs. Remarkable. 23 without loss. This one's wide of the Austin, which is a swing at it. The Shaw misses it. No damage done from the wide delivery. 23 without loss at the end of the over. So 22 runs conceded by Carpenter and 1 conceded by Phillips. It's a slightly lopsided looking bowling figure on the right-hand side of the big scoreboard at the moment.
That Gazanfar, it's the sort of performance he's been threatening, isn't it? And when you sign a mystery spinner, you think you're going to have 1 or 2 days out where it all goes your way. And almost that the game at Chesterfield, we really thought he could rip through them here. But for him to do it at Headingley, yeah, just too little too late, unfortunately, for the men's side.
There is a bit of that about it, yeah, I'm afraid. So Phillips begins her second over and the 4th of the Derbyshire innings, and her 7th delivery, rather, is also a dot ball as it's turned into the leg side by Kusa, who managed to get 1 run off the last ball of her first over, and that was it. She'll be looking for better in this one as she bowls. This one is swept and it's beaten the fielder on the edge of the circle and it's running away down to the covered stand for 4. At last, she's got one through. Bella Howarth couldn't do anything about it at backward square leg.
That's the shot she's been practicing, the shot she was struggling to pull off in the Phillips's first over as well. She's bowled nicely, bowled tight and leg stump, and that fielder bat, you have to place the sweep well behind square, and Coos was able to do so there. Just wonder what Phillips will look to respond with here.
She's moved on to 12 as Cooser, and now it's 27 without losses. Phillips around the wicket once more. This time she's gone straight down the ground, straight to a fielder who takes the catch down below us. Comfortable catch in the end for Gemma Marriott at long on. And Cooser goes, and that is a big blow. She goes for 12, and Derbyshire are 27 for 1.
Yeah, that's frustrating when you've got 2 fielders out and you've looked to use your feet and go down the ground and just picking out long on. Cooser's, she is one of those players, if she does get caught on the boundary because she looks to play these big shots, but in the power play against a bowler who's been, pushing you back well and failing to really score any runs, it's probably a shot out of frustration, but with her talent, that's a disappointing way to go for the Falcons.
12 or 14 with 2 fours, 27 for 1, and Derbyshire, having made that good start, will want to build on it. Here was a very good catch, a comfortable catch really though, from Gemma Marriott, Northamptonshire Steelbacks skipper, just down below us. I wasn't sure if there was anybody there till I stood up because she was hiding. The rope is out a fair distance. I don't think it'll be changed for the men's game, so the rope is out, and that might have been Cooser's downfall. Ellie Nightingale is the new batter. The first wicket falls in the 4th over.
You've got the full music on, the full works for this game, which we haven't had for a women's T20 here yet. And, trying to get the atmosphere going, but yeah, Nightingale, another one on loan from Yorkshire previously when they were the Northern Diamonds as well in their academy setup as well, but been a little short with the bat so far. As we say, a big game for Derbyshire, a must win.
Phillips 1 for 5, her figures, bowls to Nightingale, who just taps that into the leg side, gets off the mark. First ball that she faces. The ball is fielded by the fielder at short, fine leg. Emily Carpenter, I think that is. Because they've all got numbers, which is very, very useful, but they've also got long hair, which is less useful to those of us, I'm only counting myself in this commentary box, who don't see the girls play that often. This one's short and wide, but slapped by Shaw straight to the fielder at cover. She'll be disappointed at that. Catherine Speed is in at cover. It was straight to her.
The names are below the numbers, which is helpful.
No, with my eyes, it's not. Oh, that one beats Shaw. Not taken cleanly by the keeper, but it's another good over. 5 runs from it. 28 for 1 after 4 overs. I think the what's it? Yeah, the battery in the effects microphone might have gone, but I'll sort that out at half time.
Missing out on some club classics.
Well,
our listeners.
you know me, Freddie, club classics. I'm all over them. I do recognise this. I couldn't tell you what it was, but Sandstorm, of course, by Deruda, isn't it?
No, this is half of the sort of. I don't know if the Blast themselves send round a playlist because it's the same at every game you go to. I don't know if there's some songs they say you've got to have these on, you can't have other ones, but it gets when you film and you cover every single one. You do get used, especially because each team will pick their own walkout song for each batter. So if there's a batting collapse, you're going to hear a lot of the same song over and over again, which became quite annoying last year. It was the one Luke Littler comes out with at the darts.
No, you've beaten me. Yeah. 28 for 1, 5th over, and it's Amelia Kemp. That first ball is guided backward square on the offside for a single by Nightingale, who doubles her score, moves on to 2. Derbyshire up to 29 for 1. The 2 fielders outside the circle are the backward square leg. No, they're not, because they're just changing that. It's going to be mid-wicket, and the third man down below us. They're the 2 fielders outside the circle to start with. Kemp bowls, and she reaches for that one to short. It's not wide. It goes underneath the bat, in actual fact, and through to the wicketkeeper. Smart. There's a slip in place as well, which you don't often see at this stage of a T20 match. The fielder appears to have 44 in the bat, and I don't have a 44 on my sheet. This next delivery again goes underneath the bat, no bounce. A ball from Kemp. It is 44, isn't it?
I think it is, yeah. And as you say, unless someone's replaced a 6 with a 4, in terms of if it's Mabel Reid, I'm sure there'll be some Northants fans who can help us out.
Yes, you know how to get in touch. Derbyshire Cricket at bbc.co.uk is as good a way as any. As this next one is, oh dear, banged in short by Kemp and quite a long way wide.
Steve Harmison, first ball of the Ashes, wide. But yeah, luckily no further damage.
I think that's why there's a slip there. I went straight to the fielder at slip.
Clear plan though, frustrating Shaw. You say she doesn't really use her feet and sort of get across her stumps, so trying to keep the ball out of her eye line.
Here comes Kemp again, and that one is driven. That's a nice shot. That'll be 4 runs up towards the straight cover boundary. 4 more to Derbyshire, and a really nice boundary from Ellie Nightingale, her first of this innings. She replaced Jess Cooser, of course, and Derbyshire move on to 33 for 1.
Yeah, Derbyshire are a team who have gone big in the power play this season, even against Yorkshire in the run chase here when they're chasing 160 odd. They were above the run rate, I think, after 10 overs, and they were in the game. Sort of similar story against Worcestershire, but here I think Northants will probably take this so far to remove Jess Cooser.
Next delivery, it's another wide. It's not a wide delivery, it's wide of the off stump, and it fools Shaw, really. She almost ends up on her knees, and then she goes for a little walk to square legs. She's admonishing herself. Doesn't look massively happy.
Yeah, almost the plan here is flooding the offside in the ring with fielders, and actually if you bowl 4 dot balls and concede 1 boundary, you take that as the bowler because you're keeping Shaw quiet. They have pushed deep cover back now.
Absolutely. Next one is driven back down the ground, into the ground, and away for 4. Well, it's neither an on-drive or an off-drive because it bounced over the stumps of the non-strikers then. That was nicely done from Shaw. And at Derbyshire, after 5 overs, are 38 for 1, 10 runs off the over all of a sudden, and they'll take that. It's only Ella Phillips who's managed to have any single-figure overs, and she's going to bowl the crucial, as it often is, final over of the power play, Freddie.
Yeah, so Phillips from the racecourse end. Clouds overhead, sun trying to peek through, and again Phillips sort of starts her run up over the wicket, but will come round. Now with Ellie Nightingale on strike. 2 fielders back on the onside, that's a dot ball. Fielder running in close, and this has been an excellent spell. I wonder if Phillips will maybe even bowl all the way through, potentially.
Yeah, 1 for 6 from 13 deliveries is superb.
Certainly, it's a tale of 2 different approaches. Derbyshire like 1 over spells in their bowling innings as she comes in again. Phillips, the sweep, it's aerial for a minute. The fielder will come round. There'll be at least 2, and Nightingale indeed will come back. The fielder in another throw where the wicketkeeper's having to move across, and Derbyshire moving along to 40 for 1, which after 5.2 actually, they won't mind that, considering the loss of Jess Cooser. Phillips comes in again round the wicket to the right-hander. That's aerial again. It's going to fall between the 2 fielders, close in on the onside, and there'll be a single. Shaw back on strike.
Got some bad news. Mabel Reid's there, look 64 and back at mid-off, so the 44 is a mystery.
Could be a sub. Yeah. Well, as I said, there's always one number that's slightly wrong. You just, if you know it's coming, it makes it slightly easier. Phillips again into Shaw, giving some fight. Shaw's gone big over, and it falls just in front of deep mid-wicket. It looked like a big shot at first, and then just for the moment, you thought Amelia Kemp was in the game, and maybe one of those where if she dived in, she could have gone under her away for 4, and maybe felt she did the right thing and just letting it fall short.
I think she did. I think she did. If she'd have dived forward to try and catch that, it almost certainly would have gone through for a boundary.
Phillips again, fifth ball of her over. The sweep has been a productive shot on a couple of occasions, and this will bring just the two again for Nightingale. These two running well between the wickets.
I'm now saying Kemp won't bowl through. They've got a measure.
They started to work her out.
Yeah, they know what to do. Yorkshire 48 for 1 at the end of their power play against Leicestershire at Grace Road.
Final ball of Phillips is third over. Figures being slightly spoiled here as they'll race through the throw to the wrong end. If that was at the non-strikers end, there would have been big trouble, I sense, for Ellie Nightingale. But another good over by Phillips. She's bowled 3 overs, 1 wicket. That of Jess Kuza caught a long on, and she's gone for just 13 runs after the power play. Derbyshire 45 for 1.
Yeah, good power play, I think, for Derbyshire. Shaw there on 22. They did lose Kuza for 12, but Shaw and Nightingale already put on 18 off 15. As the fielding restrictions will be slightly relaxed. 45 for 1. Going along at 7.5 an hour, they'd probably take that as an overall run rate, wouldn't they? Well, get them to about 150.
Yeah, this has been a challenging period now coming out of the power play when the fielders do go back. John Dyson spoke a lot about shot selection as an area they've needed to work on this season, and this will be a test. It's a young Derbyshire side, as I say. Kemp will continue from the City end, and again, same tale as her last over, a swing outside off stump, this time from Nightingale, and Kemp just trying up the boundaries for these Derbyshire batters. Shaw 22 of 16, Nightingale a runner ball 8, 18 the partnership. Quiet county ground, central co-op county ground, Derbyshire Falcons flag fluttering slowly as this is driven by Nightingale. They'll have to be very quick here, and if it was a better throw, again, we've seen a couple of half chances for these run-outs. The throw just skimming along the turf in the end, and again, leaving the wicket-keeper with very little chance, Poppy Smart.
Needs to hit, didn't it? They often do, though, don't they, in any form of the game.
Or just out to the offside, and the mystery difficult to find, but they are on there somewhere, as I found out doing some of the prep yesterday.
Yes, yeah, no, so did I. Yeah.
Extra cover and third out on the offside. Sure of another swing. It's just maybe a little bit of a skiddy pitch, keeping a little bit low. It's been hard for these batters to connect, sort of when they're looking to drive outside off stump. Fielders on the leg side, deep mid wicket, deep square. I really have to crane my neck. There's no one down at fine leg. Commentary position on my side slightly restricted to my left as Kemp comes in. Cut away by Shaw. Down to third man. And they are going to race for a 2. Good running, good awareness. Slight misfield by Phillips, and these two continue to run well between the wickets. 48 for 1. 1 ball remaining in the 7th over.
I found them straight away. I don't know what your problem is. The trouble is they don't have the numbers on them.
So you could be in a little bit of a hunt here.
I guess.
No boundary off the over so far. Final ball of the 7th. It's Kemp over the wicket. The right arm seamer just pulls out of her run up. Wasn't happy with something. Shaw was ready to go. He's 24 of 19. And like I say, do get in touch if you know Northamptonshire Steelbacks women's number 44. Whereas we'll come back to Griff's story after this final ball, which Shaw turns away into the onside. Again, they're going to look for 2. They're going to push for 2. And again, it forces the error in the field. And there's a frustrated look from Catherine Speed as she turns to throw the ball back in. That will bring up the Falcons 50 at the end of the 7th over.
I've given up. I do give up very, very easily. Yeah, 5 off the over, 50 for 1. Decent. Good running there, though. I think that's something that they're going to have to do. If you can't hit the boundary, make sure you get something off most deliveries. And Phillips is going to bowl right through. I didn't think she would.
So that day David Griffin's story earlier. He told us there were 4 fielders he was taking pictures of in one game a few years ago, and all of them had the wrong jumpers or shirts on. Well, I think they're all jumpers. And,
I think they were all sweaters. Everybody had the wrong sweater on.
So we're not quite at that stage, but you wouldn't rule it out.
Well, we could be.
Yeah.
We could be. we just don't know.
So Phillips to bowl all the way through the spinner, and this is cut away to point for no run. Bowled all of her deliveries around the wicket to the right-handers, and conceded just 13 of 3.1 overs. And a good decision from captain Gemma Marriott to bowl her all the way through. This is her first over out the power play. Shout for LBW there, just
like an optimistic shout.
Yeah, a little bit. So the umpire showing no signs of being interested there.
Phillips realised straight away that she wasn't going to get it there.
Nightingale just slightly stifled now, 9 of 11. They've looked to go to the sweep shot. 2 fielders out to protect it. This time she'll go over mid-wicket, and there'll be 2 again. The ball will plug before it reaches the boundary rope, and Amelia Kemp is out there to do the fielding. Derbyshire move along to 52 for 1, and with them struggling to score runs sort of outside of the power play in the blast this season, as you say, running between the wickets has been a real improvement in this game, a real sign so far that they're looking to put pressure on the fielding side. Around the wicket again, Phillips, nicely bowled, and again a dot ball mid-wicket in close to come and do the fielding. This is one of the batters where you just look to try and get out the over. You know she's been dangerous, don't do anything reckless, and keep going against the rest of this bowling attack.
Yeah, no need to take any chances here. 3.4 overs, 1 for 15. Terrific figures.
Phillips again outside off stump. I think that's come off the pad as well. They're going to come through for 1. Nightingale wanted the second. Lara Shaw said no, it is a leg bye.
There was only 1 there.
Yeah, certainly.
The second would have been very dangerous.
Final ball for Phillips, who just reminds Nightingale she needs to be on the other side of the stumps for her to be able to bowl around the wicket. She's got that Samit Patel style run up where you go from one side to the other. Phillips, it's flat, but it's taken off a little bit, and a little bit of extra bounce, and there'll be a dot ball fielded by extra cover. And at the end of Phillips is 4 overs. 4 overs, 1 for 15, and Derbyshire after 8 of 53 for 1. So really being slowed down this run rate at the moment.
Excellent work from Ella Phillips up. 4 overs on the spin, no pun intended, from the racecourse end, and to only concede 15 runs is a pretty impressive effort, because the Carpenters conceded 22 off her 2, and Amelia Kemp has conceded 15 off her 2, so it's a really good effort, I think this is Anisha Patel, isn't it?
Yes, they're 50 over captain, vastly experienced player, spent plenty of time in the Warwickshire setup, captain Warwickshire, 5 years with the Central Sparks as well. Yes, so setting her field, deep cover back, and then all of the rest of her field out on the onside.
Yeah, long on, mid-wicket and a backward square leg on the boundary.
Patel over the wicket. It's going to be some leg spin. And Nightingale has played all around that, gone through to the wicket-keeper, and I think she'll just be pleased she didn't get anything on it in the end.
She was nearly facing us by the time the ball arrived. I think she was expecting it to be slightly quicker, because she's got quite a quick action, but the ball isn't delivered with any pace.
Patel again. This will be worked through mid-wicket for a single, and Shaw, who's been starved of the strike in the last couple of overs, will face Anisa Patel.
Jane, the scorer's got herself a cup of tea as long as she's all right. That's the main thing.
Yeah, our Swiss rolls are staring at us. Hopefully Northants get through their overs nice and quickly.
By the time we get to them.
Patel again, sunglasses on, gives this some real flight. Shaw drives down the ground, and again they put pressure on the fielder by setting off nice and early, and mid-off fumbled slightly, allowed the single. Derbyshire 55 for 1, midway through the ninth over. Reverse sweep and a little bit top edgy, but they'll get 3 for 1. Again, they think about the 2, and Shaw just has to scamper back into the crease.
Two there, wasn't there?
Yeah, potentially, but Derbyshire fans will be happy to not have the hearts in their mouth.
I don't know. I think it keeps you alive.
Certainly.
Keeps you young.
Well, I think the running has.
That's why I look as young as I do.
Yeah, put the commentary cam back on as Patel comes in. Shaw again through the mid-wicket region for a single. But every run they come through, they're turning straight away and asking the question, and it's a positive approach because the boundaries have dried up a touch.
The answer's usually no, though.
Yes. Yeah, the Yorkshire game here, the last women's game here, some shambolic running from the Yorkshire side, who will be in Tier 1 next year. It's a real issue. As this is edged by Nightingale. The Shaw sends her back. Now they have a think, because again, it's a misfield. I think they are always proving your point. Because of some of the misfields and the pressure they've put on, you might as well take your chances as a batting side.
I think so. Just 4 off that one, though. 57 for 1 at the end of the over. Yorkshire, incidentally, now 71 for 1 in the 10th over. 42 to Boyce off 30 deliveries with 8 fours. She's causing most of the damage there.
Another Blaze Loney. There are so many of them about the Blaze, because you've got plenty of them in the England squad, the Blaze players. So it's a squad that sort of has to change through the season. Sarah Glenn, of course. And they were part of the Chesterfield Festival. They're a very good side. They've just got so many options in each department. They beat Hampshire in Elise Perry's first game in county cricket.
Or because they're Nottinghamshire, which is what we should call them.
You do make a point of that, do you? Often when they're here.
That's what Nottinghamshire do. They sign everybody and then loan them out.
Here's Lenny Sims, the Italy international, has beaten the bat of Lara Shaw. Wicketkeeper drops the ball. Sims coming round the wicket.
That was very strange because it didn't seem to do anything. It just went straight on.
Sims again. Shaw using her feet, advancing, and there'll be no run there mid-off, just as a body behind the ball. Elenia is her first name, nicknamed Lenny, which does seem a little strange for an Italy international. She's from Staffordshire. Her first game there 10 years ago was against Derbyshire. Playing them now in as Shaw lifts this one over mid-wicket, and that is a boundary that Derbyshire have been starved of for a while. 2 fielders were running round, the ball got between them, and Shaw using her feet in a much-needed boundary.
That's your first boundary?
Yes, I think in my stint.
Oh, well, the last boundary
I was going to say my notebook is looking a bit bare at
the
the
last
moment.
boundary was the final ball of the 5th over.
By Lara Shaw as well.
And now
The spinners doing their thing as they did at Wantage Road. A game that Derbyshire did win. It was a little bit at the edge of the bat there from Lara Shaw. As you say, there's not a lot of turn by the looks of it, but just the slower bowling and some accurate slower bowling as well. But you've got to put it in the right place when there's not a lot of spin, and Northampton's been able to do so. Again, down the track, and maybe that's a missed opportunity for Poppy Smart behind the stumps, because Shaw had advanced and put down by Smart.
going to have a slip again. Oh, it was short third man. So there's nobody on the leg side now if Shaw wants to just turn one into the leg side.
Instead, she's going to be aggressive. It's down to long on for one. Some of the drier bits of the outfield, those lines going across them. I think that's the after effects of a concert, isn't it, down here in front of us?
I think that's the after effects of what happened here last year in April when the pitch was underwater. They're getting a new outfield at Derbyshire at some point. All this money from 100 new outfield, new lights. It'll be fantastic. We're just taking a drinks break here. We're at the halfway stage, 62 for 1, 33 to Shaw, 13 to Nightingale. A partnership which was more than a run a ball earlier is now dropped below a run a ball, 35 off 39 after that 27 run opening stand. And that ended when Kuza was caught on the boundary by Northamptonshire skipper Jim Marriott off Ella Phillips for 12. They've just gone past the halfway stage at Grace Road, and Yorkshire women are 73 for 1 at the start of the 11th over. So they're going quite nicely there. If they beat Leicestershire and Derbyshire can beat Northamptonshire, I know it's a bit if my auntie was my uncle, but etc. Then it would set up a winner-takes-all game at Repton on Sunday, and you wouldn't want to miss that.
We should say as well, Northants still in with a shout. They've won their first 2 games of this competition and haven't won since. They've got a win here, and then Leicestershire lose to Yorkshire now.
We should say that, but this is the Derbyshire.
It's keeping our Northants listeners and viewers.
I'm not entirely sure we should be saying anything of the sort. If I'm entirely honest with you, I've just moved out of your sight just in case the commentator cam comes on.
We're both in agreement the commentator cam should be turned and become another. It can be a nice wide view so you can all see the field if you're watching on the stream. But instead, you have to see us two, which nobody's paying them. And again, they've put it on again just as I have to have a word with our producer team in there.
Because I don't think this is working. No, the light's not on. We're going to get some proper effects here. Get standby to be blasted by whatever this dreadful music is in a few moments' time. We're going to do it before we get back underway, which is a very nifty bit of work. You see, a lot of people have producers and things like that to do this kind of thing. Not me. Sorry, everybody.
No, it's definitely working.
It's working now.
That music coming through. I couldn't tell you what this song is, but I can tell you Patel is going to continue from the City end.
Here we go.
Nicely done.
Thank you very much. Anisha Patel then, as Freddie said, from the City end, bowls to Shaw, who pulls this into the leg side. Oh, Nightingale set off with a single. Shaw sends it back.
Eagerness is the word.
I don't mind eagerness, but you've got to try to be sensible as well, haven't you? I'm not sure how sensible that was. Here is Patel again. This one's pulled into the leg side, and this time Shaw calls Nightingale through for a single. Nightingale wants a second. There isn't one there. 63 for 1, beg your pardon.
As I say, they're a young side. You'd expect young batters to be lightning between the wickets, and they have been so far. They haven't really looked in danger.
Patel bowls a really loopy delivery that's driven out into the offside by Nightingale. They've run the first one. They're thinking again about the second, but this time it definitely isn't there. That was a good piece of fielding by Lenny Sims out there in front of the old scoreboard, which isn't on for some reason. It's always nice to have double scoreboards in cricket grounds, I think, so you can cross-reference, but we've only got the one, 64 for 1.
There was one out on the players come out. I've just ran to the left of that as well, but it's been covered up by an advertising board this season.
I think that the old one and that one worked off the same system. That one's been driven by Shaw, but straight to mid-off, and it forces Nightingale to scamper back into a ground. 4 balls gone of Patel's second over. She's only conceded 6 runs so far. 64 for 1. We're in the 11th. This next delivery is launched down the ground. There is a fielder there who takes the catch. That's a very, very good catch on the run. And Shaw goes for 34. Derbyshire lose their second wicket on 63. 63 for 2 now. That was a very good catch on the run.
Judged that really well. So I had to stick her hands out to her right-hand side. And
was that Mabel Reid?
Mabel Reid, indeed, yeah, down on the boundary at long on, and you could just tell again Derbyshire being suffocated outside of the power play by these overs of spin, and a really good catch. Shaw was winding up to go, and you just thought for a minute, is this going to fall one side or the other as Ella Porter comes to the crease. A warm round of applause for Lara Shaw as she leaves.
34 off 33, 64 for 2, I beg your pardon. I missed off the previous single. But Anisha Patel picks up her first wicket. I'm going to have to get off because I've taken both the wickets to fall as well, so that's not good, is it?
Well, I had no boundaries and you've had the wickets, but you've had a few more boundaries in the power play, which you'd expect.
I thought that was the end of the over. There's 1 ball to go. I've already written it in, so hopefully this will be a dot ball, otherwise it'll make a terrible mess of my sheet here. Ella Porter then, 78 on her back. Again, I just sort of potentially caught out by the size of the boundaries, but that was a really good catch, a running catch by Mabel Reid. Took it to her right. As Patel comes in to complete the over with a very, very loopy delivery. There's an appeal for a leg before wicket. There's almost a run out as Nightingale calls Porter through for a single. And I'm not entirely sure whether the leg bye was signalled there. I think it probably was. It was. And the over finishes at 65 for 2. 3 off the over and a wicket.
Well, if you're just joining us as well, Derbyshire are really a bowler short as well in this lineup with Darlow, Noling, Davis, Clark and McDonald, the only really recognised bowlers in this side. A lot of their batters were warming up with the ball, almost a bit of a, can I have a bowl skip, can I prove myself? And I think we even had one was bowling off spin with her pads on in the warm-up just to say, any chance. But Derbyshire their strong point in this game needs to be with the bat because they do look a little short on paper with the ball, and without Maria Andrews, who's been key. Rhiannon Noling-Davis has had a good season. She's taken 10 wickets, but Derbyshire need to post a good defendable score here at the Central Co-op County Ground.
Certainly do. Lenny Sims to continue from the race course and bowled her first over for just 5 runs. And she'll be bowling to Ella Porter, who's yet to get off the mark. That was a signal leg by the last ball of the previous over. In comes Sims, and Porter drives very pleasantly, and they're going to get a single here. There's a nice tumbling stop by Ella Phillips. Prevents the ball from getting beyond the edge of the circle. 2
Italy internationals in here on display. Lenny Sims and Wayne Madsen.
Yes.
And if anyone's watching over in Milan, Turin, Rome, the strong cricketing cities.
They all will be.
T20 World Cup, of course, on the inside.
Nightingale drives very nicely out into the offside, but she's only going to get 1 run for it, as it's filled out there to our left by Catherine Speed.
Great uncle as well is Harold Larwood, former England cricketer. So that's a bit of trivia for
Who's
you.
that?
Lenny Sims.
Really?
Yeah.
That is proper cricket.
Oh,
Oof, that one leaps on Porter. Say proper cricket. Involved in the Bodyline series, of course, down in Australia. Ended up living in Australia. And the Aussies loved him. Harold Larwood.
great connection.
That Nottinghamshire man. 67 for 2. Sims bowls and beats Porter and also beats the keeper, and they might come back for 2 here. They will come back for 2. I'm just wondering if there might be 3 as the ball is eventually tracked down by Emily Carpenter. No, there isn't, just the 2, and they are signalled as byes, so it beat everything. It goes down as a good delivery from Sims, but unfortunately costs her team 2 runs, and it's 69 for 2 now in the 12th over.
Yeah, just beat the bat. Wonder if maybe there is a little bit of turn that Sims is finding here.
As a result of that, there's a slight change in the field with Emily Carpenter going to short third man on the edge of the circle. There's also a point, a cover, an extra cover, and a mid-off on the offside. Sims is in, and that one is dabbed straight to one of the myriad of fielders on the offside. There's not going to be too many singles into the offside. You wouldn't have thought on the leg side. Deep backward square leg and mid-wicket. The 2 fielders on the edge, they're really trying to squeeze Derbyshire, Northamptonshire. Can they get that through the ring? She can, Porter, and it's racing away towards the extra cover boundary for 4. Once you get it beyond the circle with so many players inside that 25-yard circle, there are runs to be had, and Derbyshire pick up another boundary, move on to 73 for 2 at the end of the over. 8 runs from that one. That was their best over since the 5th in terms of runs scored, Derbyshire.
Yeah, you have to pick your spot there with that field in, and she was able to. And Northants have it's been spin to win really since the power play, sort of as I expected. It worked for them at Wantage Road in a game where Derbyshire spinners, worked their magic as well. But it's just been a problem this season. Hitting big against the spin. They can look very good, these batters, against seamers and in the power play in particular. But I would say as well, the running between the wickets has certainly been a positive. It's kept the run rate above 6.
Anisha Patel to continue from the city end. Fielder out on the offside, 2 on the leg, the reverse sweep. I think all that Nightingale could have done then, if she'd made proper contact with it, is actually turn the ball onto her stumps, and it's actually given us a bye. 74 for 2. She was so far into the leg side that if she had deflected that, she would have played on. She didn't. 74 for 2. She remains on 15. Now Porter has 5, and Porter just tickles that into the leg side for a single just beyond the circle.
The shot certainly is on that reverse, or the little scoop if they're brave enough as well.
You've been practicing that in the back garden?
I did do one the other day, up towards the drain pipe of our little back garden cricket pitch, which has taken a battering apparently in the last week of rain.
I thought that the drain pipe would be one of the fielders. Surely, there's going to be a stumping here because Nightingale has gone advancing towards Patel, missed it completely. And Poppy Smart does the rest, and there is the third wicket. Derbyshire now 73 for 2. That was disappointing from Nightingale, who is out for 15. And Derbyshire, well, they're in a little bit of danger of not folding. We haven't got to that yet, but we've got to be careful here.
Smart juggled that as well. It took her a couple of goes to get the ball safely between her gloves and then remove the bails. In the end, a nice bit of work. Patel certainly laughing a little bit after that was completed, and Nightingale just couldn't get back in her crease. So Megan Pittman, Derbyshire's wicket keeper, comes to the crease, and as you say, Derbyshire need to get a little bit of a move on, but the wickets have fallen both to Patel, who's gone for just 7 runs of 2.5 overs.
Yeah, she's bowled nicely, hasn't she? She has bowled nicely. Look at those 2 wickets. Nightingale and Shaw. And we've got 2 relatively fresh batters to work with here at Northamptonshire. Pittman, who's obviously yet to face the ball, just coming out. And Ella Porter, who is on 6 off 7. Don't know this one either, Freddie, do you? I have to look at my phone.
You've got Shazam on there.
I've got a thing.
Other apps are available.
Yes.
Of course, I should say.
I'm delighted to say that Mike Robinson's been in touch with something that we will be able to tell the audience in a moment. No, it's the phone just tells me what the music is. I can't stop it telling me. I don't know how it does it. Patel in and balls to Pittman, who pushes this out into the offside for the quick single. They're thinking about a second. It's not there.
It's a bit of a trend, actually. There's someone, I think Richard Ashcroft was supporting Oasis, and someone was on Shazam while he was playing Bittersweet Symphony, and everyone was going, how on earth do you not know that song? It's become a bit of a trend at these gigs now.
Oh dear. One is defended by Porter, straight back to Patel. The number 44 is Ariana Dowse. We've got as 83 on our team sheet, so Mike Robinson, thank you.
Just slightly similar.
Next delivery is this guy. She's on loan from Essex. She's a wicket-keeper batter who is on loan from Essex. So thank you, Mike. Much appreciated. End of the over, 76 for 3 at the end of that over. So a wicket and just 3 runs from it. As the previous over from Anisha Patel, a wicket and 3 runs, and her figures now 3 overs, 2 for 8. And they're exceptional figures in any form of cricket. Well done to her.
Yeah, spin to win on the pitch that's actually not offered a lot of it for these Northant spinners. Derbyshire, who won the toss and elected to bat. The Northants skipper Gemma Marriott calling wrong. And their spin will continue with Lenny Sims.
See, that's told me that one was Olivia Rodrigo. Bad idea, right? Here we go. I don't know why it tells me, but I can't turn it off. Lenny Sims bowls. Oh, and that goes through everything. She got a little bottom edge on it. I don't think she did, you know. This is going to be more buys. Poor old wicketkeeper Poppy Smart's having a bit of a time because she's standing up. Yeah, buys signalled 78 for 2. Might just have come back a touch. And then deceived both the batter and the keeper. Went away towards the permanent temporary stand at the far end of the ground here at the Central Co-op County Ground. For a couple of buys. Pittman on 1 weight, 78 for 3. Sims bowls. She waits for the ball and cuts it into the offside, but straight to Patel, and there's no run.
Yeah, fielding close here actually. 4 in the ring on the offside, 3 in the ring on the on.
Really are trying to squeeze them out. A couple of fielders out on the leg side, but she's not giving them width that way. Now she has pulled it from off as Pittman out towards the long on boundary for 4. I think that's the way forward. If she's confident enough to do it, pull it from outside the off stump, and there is a lot more room there. So 4 more takes Derbyshire up to 80 for 3 in the 14th over.
Yeah, nice shot. Just getting low in her crease, and now they do move long on in play, where 2 of the wickets have fallen so far, been those shots down the ground that have not quite gone cleanly off the middle of the bat.
Marriott has moved herself down here, and she's right in position. Is she to take a catch? No, it bounces about 5 yards in front of her off Pittman's bat this time. She went for the same shot. Didn't make as good a connection, really. And Marriott was able to come in off the boundary. On the bounce to the fielding, Pittman moves to 683 for 3.
Yeah, that's a little bit of a concerning shot, I think, if you're the Derbyshire head coach, John Dyson, who's wandering around when the field has been moved there, to then go again.
Yes, just have a little think. In goes Sims and Bowles, and Porter cuts it off the back foot out towards the cover boundary for a single. 7 now to Porter, 84 for 3. 8 runs off the over so far, 1 ball to come. So another reasonably good over for Derbyshire. Can they just inch it into double figures? Sims bowls. Pittman just dabs it. Just a little pull into the leg side. Nothing more than that. Gets a single. And the over comes to an end, but 9 from it. 85 for 3 with 6 overs to go. So they're looking at getting up to around. Oh, this is maths now.
Yeah, we don't like maths.
15 minus that and that. Yeah, no idea.
No, an 85 of 6 overs to go is I think that's the difficult one to calculate. 5 overs to go and 100, it's a little bit easier, but
is it?
I'd say so.
Yeah.
You want a nice round number. I think 85 is
36 more runs, they'll get up to about 120.
Yeah, they're just over 6 and over, so...
Well, yeah, that would
add up.
That's an easier way of doing it, isn't it?
That would add up.
Yeah, well done, Freddie. I didn't bring you in to make me look stupid.
There's no danger of that happening.
It's you, isn't it?
Find the one of your 5.
Is it? 1, 2, 3, 4. No. Oh, yeah, it is. Anisha Patel, first ball of issue.
That's after our conversation we just had. That was not a good bit of timing.
We did say there were 6 overs left. You're absolutely. I've written a name down and thought, well, that over's finished in 86 for 3. That one is a reverse, and a nice little reverse from Porter. She's going to get 4 runs for it as well. The fielder's chasing after it, but she won't get there. The fielder looks to me like Ariana Dowse. We ought to give her a name check, seeing as we didn't even know who she was at the start. It is.
Nice shot there, got into position early. They've tried that reverse a couple of times, and it's nearly brought her down for Porter, and nailed that one down to the boundary. And Derbyshire picking up a boundary and over, so they're just starting to move along a little bit more urgently.
Porter onto a runner ball 11. She waits now as Patel bowls to her. It looks like a full toss, and it ends up going down the leg side, and she leaves it alone and gets the wide. That was well judged. 91 for 3, probably. Can't tell because the scoreboard's turned into something with lights flashing on it as this next delivery is just turned into the leg side by Porter for another single. She moves to 12, 92 for 3. That was Bastille a minute ago.
Okay.
My phone tells me.
I can't believe it does it automatically without even asking.
I don't have to do anything. It's called shut off the lights. Because my modern music knowledge is relatively poor. It has to be something. I might have been a Bastille. This one using her feet. Pittman drives. Very pleasant. Oh, and beats the fielder as well. That's going to go all the way for 4. Really should only have been 1. Pittman picks up a boundary. She moves into double figures. She's on 12 now. Derbyshire move on to 95 for 3. Really should only have been 1.
Yeah, just went underneath her. We haven't seen too many of those misfields that have been costly for Northampton. Seen a few in the ring that maybe cost 1 or maybe the chance of a run out, but not many that have led to boundaries. And it's been a productive over so far for Derbyshire, the wide and the 2 boundaries.
11 off it, Patel bowls. That was just tapped into the leg side. There isn't a single there as Pittman sends Porter back. Joel did something really fancy, unless he just can't get the focus sorted out.
That camera, to be fair, is playing up a little bit. It's good. It's better than last year's ones, but it does go AWOL sometimes.
It's just struggling a touch at the minute as this one. She goes back and is bowled. Pittman is bowled by Patel. She went back to make room for herself for the cut shot. And unfortunately for her, fails everywhere.
Yeah, another wicket for Patel as Pittman had just started to get going. And again, Northants just pushed Derbyshire back a little bit. Natasha Allen is next in. I mean, there is still batting to come. The captain, Adriana Darlow, after Millie Gray, and Rhiannon Noling-Davis can swing the bat as well. And then into the rest of the bowlers, Derbyshire just need to get themselves into a position where they can go big in these last 5 overs. So Patel finishes with 3 wickets for 19 runs for her 4 overs. Her and Phillips have had a real day out here. Falcons 96 for 4 with 5 overs remaining.
11 off that over, so it had been a good over. There wasn't really a need to take a chance necessarily, but I suppose with 5 overs left now, and I've only said that out loud so it's in my head, they want to push it on a bit, perhaps get up to 130, perhaps a little bit more than that. That'd be very useful in this crucial game. Don't forget the scenario. Derbyshire need to win this one and beat Leicestershire on Sunday. Yorkshire are currently playing Leicestershire and they're 113 for 2 in the 16th over. Something's going on here.
Got a cable being put in somewhere.
Henry's being a nuisance.
Sims will continue from the racecourse end. Again, the fielding close on the offside. Just 2 fielders in the ring, 2 back on the boundary on the leg side. There is the scoop. It's a scoop sweep, really, off the bat of Ella Porter. Will bring her 2 runs. And, the fielder there losing both her cap and her sunglasses in the process of going round to mop up. Derbyshire 98 for 4 and looking in a good position to go past the 120 we were talking about. Indeed for Ella Porter. Already off this over, and that's the 100 up for Derbyshire.
And that's 100 up for the Falcons.
As the goose, the PA confirms.
The goose.
The goose, the resident goose, as Sims comes in again, driven away.
Who's the goose?
That's his name, isn't it? Oh, that is going to be a run out. Oh no, the keeper's missed it. Sorry, we were distracted there. We thought that was just a single and no more would be said of it. But the throw came in. The Derbyshire batter was miles away, but the wicket-keeper was up. Goose, our PA announcer.
Is he called Goose?
I thought it was called Goose.
No, I don't think so. Called Gibbo.
Gibbo. Oh, I don't know where I've got that from. I've got that from the man behind us, his mate.
His mate's Goose. Our mate's Goose.
Yes, and your mate, of course.
Yeah.
And I'm sure I will not hear the end of that for the rest of the day, if not next week as well, as Sims comes in again. And this is cut away, and there's no fielder down at third. Running around is Bella Howarth, and we'll get back for 2. Yeah, that's a shocker from me, to be fair.
No, that's just what a do Goose was.
He might be here. The other Goose.
I think he'd be here at some point.
He was, he was at the Blaze game the other day, I think, actually.
Chesterfield.
At Chesterfield.
Yeah, and Paul.
As Sims continues, cut away.
Good running.
Yeah, another single.
Really good running. Well,
Oh, and there's going to be more. There's going to be buzzers. And a second run. This has been a very productive over. That missed run-out chance. Northants, the wheels just coming off a little bit in what's been quite a good fielding effort and bowling effort. And you don't want to let this slip now and let Derbyshire put a good score on the board.
well, they do really.
From a Derbyshire perspective.
Yeah. Well, you can do it from the Northamptonshire perspective.
No, I have no interest. One of our cameramen does.
You
You say my love.
Everybody needs this kind of a phone.
There we go. Change of bowling finally. Back to Asima. The plenty of overs of spin in the middle overs, as is often the case.
22 runs off the last 2 overs, though. This has been a nice acceleration.
Going to go past
Derbyshire.
120 at least, aren't they now?
Might get close to 140.
Run rate climbing. I think it's Amelia Kemp. It is back on from the City end. Slower ball perhaps as Porter just plays it down in front of her. And again, they'll scamper 3 for 1. Obviously, they put a good score on the board. Their running between the wickets has been a key part of that. 108 for 4. After 1 ball of the 17th over, Kemp 0 for 16 of 2.1. In fact, it's only been all of the wickets have fallen to spin. 3 to Anisha Patel and 1 to Ella Phillips, who conceded just 15 runs in her spell. She bowled all the way through. Kemp again, that's gone past the inside edge of Natasha Allen's bat and a dot ball.
There's no need at this point to start getting funky in any way. Just hit the ball back where it's come from if you possibly can. That was there to cut, but she's trying to guide it down the third man. There is a fielder at third man. If she cuts it, backward points on the edge of the circle, and if it beats her, it's 4.
Kempin again. This time it's down the ground, and is it going to clear the field as she sticks her one arm out? They'll come back for 2. It would have been another really good catch. I think it was Mabel Reid again who just missed Lara Shaw, and that was a more difficult opportunity this time. Would have been a screamer.
Hands too. That was good effort, but very tricky, as you say.
Put one hand out and hope for the best. Another swing and a miss, and there's enough back there for the umpire's finger to be raised. Off goes Natasha Allen for a runnable 6, nicking through to Poppy Smart, who took 1 stumping and now has a catch as well. And there is the first wicket falling to a seamer in this Derbyshire innings. Millie Gray will come in next unless they send in the skipper, and Derbyshire, as the stream freezes in front of us, 110 for 5.
There might be, there we are, it's back again. I've forgotten that the score's on the bottom of that. That's a much more reliable score, isn't it? Only 3 overs and 2 balls remaining, 6.6 and over the run rate. If they don't get 130 from here, I'll be disappointed.
We don't want you to be disappointed.
Well, so it is about me.
So it is Millie Gray comes to the crease. Cricket coach, she's from Sheffield, played for Yorkshire, and
Shan't tell that against her.
no, there's a few Yorkshire connections to be found in
Is there?
Derbyshire. John Dyson is a Yorkshireman, which he keeps quiet, the Derbyshire head coach.
Most Yorkshire people, when they come out of Yorkshire, keep it quiet.
Yeah, Yorkshire women have enjoyed success against Derbyshire, as you would expect. Yorkshire men, not so much in the T20.
Women are virtually full time, aren't they? in
Yeah,
preparation
I mean, they're going to
for
play
next
tier
season?
1. As Kemp then, first ball to Millie Gray, who just drives this away for 1. And again, urgency from her between the wickets. Never going to be a second run there.
He's just come in and stolen a set of my headphones now.
I don't know what's going on.
No, I'm not entirely sure, I've got to say.
A lot of moving about. I mean, there's any big broadcast plans for the men's game later? Well, Derbyshire men, nothing to play for. I guess the Bears are in a better position. They certainly should be.
Well, yes, they're 4th at the moment.
Kemp then again over the wicket to Porter this time, who just flicks it away down to fine leg for a much needed boundary to slightly spoil that over. Kemp and Derbyshire 115 for 5.
That was nicely played. It's very fine down to fine leg. Fielder on the edge of the circle, no chance once it gets past and bounces into the rope. She didn't chase it all the way to the boundary with Emily Carpenter, but she was never going to catch up with the ball. And another reasonably good over for Derbyshire, 8 from it.
Yeah, she'll definitely be looking upwards of 130, if not 140 now, if you can really go big in these last 3 overs. And then over to the bowlers, and it's going to be interesting who the 5th bowler is. It's going to be quite pivotal, you'd imagine, for this Derbyshire side.
Well, Gemma Marriott's coming on to bowl here for Northamptonshire, having not bowled at all. She's going to bowl over 18, which is a little unusual.
Yeah, is she the death over specialist? I wonder, Gemma Marriott, the 20-over captain.
Carpenter's still got a couple of overs left, but was expensive.
Here is Marriott. That's a full toss and just flicked away. Might have been some pad even into the onside. To indeed, the umpire raises her leg and taps the top of her knee. Do enjoy those umpire signals. Explaining those to somebody who doesn't know about cricket. There's something quite interesting about them. Particularly in the T20 format as well. There's another full ball and driven away. It will just be a single up to cover. He's in from the boundary. They're going to race through for two. Some more good running, forcing that fielding error.
You've got to get two to the ball that goes out to the cover boundary. You've got to get two.
Outfield not quite as quick as well as it maybe has been. It's been a bit bobbly at times, and there's been none that really took off today, which is good. It did look good actually when I came in earlier. It's a little bit shorter, better length there from Gemma Marriott. How much work is that then to completely redo the whole outfield over the winter? That's got to be a process.
Quite a lot. We'll have to dig it all up, basically, won't they? But I mean, somebody's going to lose their teeth at some point on this outfield. I don't think there's any doubt about that.
I think when some of the best fielders around are struggling, I think that's when you know that. And especially going up to Chesterfield, it felt nice. That's a great outfield. Those ground staff did a really, really good job. This is just defended out to have a point for no run. And after a couple of full deliveries, Marriott's found the right length on this pitch just to subdue Millie Gray. Gone for just 3 runs off the over. Maybe Derbyshire feel they missed out on her first couple of deliveries. Marriott in again for the 5th ball of what's her first over and beats the bat here. The Northants fielders enjoying that, singing her praise. 3 fielders back. Deep square, deep mid-wicket, and quite a wide long on. The option to hit straight is certainly there, but she's bowling nice and wide outside off stump the last couple. Marriott, final ball of the 18th over. That's a straighter delivery down to long on. He's in off the boundary. Could have been a second there as well, but it's just going to be a single. And this grand scheme, I think it's a good over. Gone for just 4. Marriott, 2 overs to go. Derbyshire have their 120 for the loss of 5 wickets.
Yeah, so 2 overs to go. They will get 130. They will want more than that, I'm sure, with Graham Porter out there. Porter, a lot of emphasis on her, but of course she's just lost the strike again. She's got 27 off 19. Gray 2 off 5. I'm telling her how to bat, I wouldn't presume to do so, but tap and run single off the first ball might be quite useful here.
Yeah, we'll see. 2 off 5. Partnership is 10. Most of those come off the bat. Porter, who's going well here, and as you say, holds the key for this to be a good defendable score. Former Nottinghamshire batter. Gray is on strike then to Kemp, who will bowl out here. It's on the leg side.
Must have brushed the pad. Must have brushed the pad.
One of those, it's either going to be caught, there's a bit of bat or glove, a wide, or absolutely nothing if it's come off the pad. And it's a win for the bowler in the end. So Gray 2 off 6. Kemp again over the wicket. And it's a good delivery, full and straight into the pads. Gray just gets down the other end, as you were suggesting, 1 leg by.
I think that makes sense. It means that Porter's got 4 deliveries here. So that's that 27 off 19. She's batted nicely.
Mid on and mid off in the ring. So if she can hit straight, she can be rewarded here. Porter standing on middle stump, and it's just been clothed off the bottom of the bat, and the dot ball down to mid on.
A bit of chalk on that. That was a cue end. She was through the shot too quickly.
You'd imagine it'd be Marriott then to bowl the final over.
Yeah.
He came on in the 18th and did a good job of it. It's Kemp again, wider on the crease, and just a single for Porter. They're going to look at two, and they have a bit of a conference in the middle of the wicket and decide against it for good reason. If you're taking that long to think about it, it's time to just not make the risk.
Never a two there in the memory of man.
Derbyshire 122 for 5, 2 balls remaining in the 19th over to get up past 130 if they can. Gray swings away out to deep mid-wicket for a single. Again, these have been some good death overs actually for Northampton. There was one expensive one from a couple of overs ago, I think from Patel. Apart from that, the boundaries have not really been coming. Porter back on strike. 7 balls remaining. Final one of Kemp's spell. 1 wicket for 25, which was Allen caught behind. Going for the scoop is Porter, and she's pulled that off really nicely. Moved very, very early in her crease, and it's the first time we saw that scoop. I did call for it a few overs ago. No one's been brave enough until then, and she played that really well.
That was brilliantly played. Absolutely brilliantly played. Straight over the wicketkeeper's head. No chance for Carpenter to get to it before it went to the boundary.
And it was a no ball and free hit as well.
I've written it in. Come on, umpire. This is good news for Derbyshire.
Certainly is. Free hit then. The 4 brings the free hit for the no ball. Presume it's front foot. She's gone for the scoop again. It's not quite off the middle of the bat as it was the ball before, and it will just be a single, but all valuable runs. All the same, and with 1 over remaining, Derbyshire 129 for 5.
Yes, didn't quite have the same timing, did it, sadly, but 4 overs, 1 for 31. Kemp finishing with Amelia Kemp, and it will indeed. Marriott, I beg your pardon, to complete the innings, which means that opening bowler Emily Carpenter bowled 2 overs at the top for 22 and hasn't been used again since.
So Derbyshire 129 for 5. They defended 118 in the reverse fixture at Wantage Road.
I think they'll get to 130 at least now.
If there'll be an exceptional, there'll be a maiden over if they don't, which will be some doing from Marriott.
Haven't seen one yet in this innings. I think it's unlikely.
Judging by the pitch and what we've seen, is it a decent score, or do you think there'll be a few short at this rate, Derbyshire?
I just think they got caught out by the size of the boundary, if I'm honest. They had a couple of batters caught in the deep, so Northampton will have taken notice of that, won't they? But yeah, the odd one has done something. I don't think it's a bad score at all. They'll get to 135, perhaps even have an over to match the biggest overs of the innings. There have been 4 11-run overs. Well, if they get 11 runs and get to 140, I think they'd be very confident of defending that. They have to be, although, as you say, with 4 bowlers and then trying to find 4 overs from somewhere else, it could be interesting.
Marriott, and they might find a new hero potentially in the bowling attacks. Marriott to bowl the final over. It's again nicely bowled into the pitch, and they'll run through for 1 up to mid-on, who's in close. She had a real conference there with Anisha Patel, one of the other fielders, and at one point Marriott suggested an idea, and there was a real grimace on Patel's face, which she obviously didn't like it, but happy now as fine leg comes into the ring, and mid-on goes back to long on. Gray on strike, 3 of 8, needs to get going now. It's just driven down to long on, who will come in to do the fielding. Phillips down in front of us.
But Gray ran that first one, and so there might be 2 there, and Porter just trotted down it. And no, I've got this. 34 off 24. She's the batter who should be on strike. I don't think there's much doubt about that.
Yeah, it's looking so again. They're keeping. It's been a feature actually to Porter. They haven't pushed long on or long off back. Porter. Oh, she's been bowled. Well, there you go. That's a brilliant bit of bowling from Marriott, who's just bowling the 2 overs here, the Northant skipper, and she's getting the work done in this final over. She removes the dangerous Ella Porter, who's batted well for her 34, but she's not going to be able to add anything to this total.
Shows you what I know, though. She should be on strike. 131 for 6. That will almost certainly mean that they'll not get to 140. You would have thought it's very difficult to come out in the final over of a T20 T20 and just go from the start. Is it
It's the captain, yeah.
Adriana Darlow?
Adriana Darlow, the captain.
She's a ballroom and Latin dancer away
she?
from the cricket, is Adriana
Excellent.
Darlow. I think there's a couple of dancers in this side, and Porter, I haven't mentioned, has a diploma in singing. So there's some different talents.
Bit of showbiz out there.
Yeah.
Bit of showbiz.
Maybe some good wicket celebrations, potentially, but must be good, the initiation songs, if you've got Ella Porter's turn to step up.
You've been stalking them to get all this information.
They had to fill out a fact file, a Google document at the start of
Now,
the
do you
season.
think some of them have embellished their...
could have done.
Could have done. You've got to be careful of those.
You're less trustworthy, less trusting, I should say, as there's a swing outside off an appeal from third, who was in the circle, and absolutely nobody else. And she holds her hands up and says, fair enough, there was nothing there. But again, Marriott with another dot ball, just 2 balls to go, and Derbyshire 131 for 6 has been an exceptional over, just 2 off it, and the wicket of Porter.
2 dot balls, cannot be 2 dot balls.
Even if you just run as hard as you can now. Darlow on strike again, using her feet. The offside fielder at cover will just run in. They're all close still, even right at the end of the innings. They're walking in, putting the pressure on, and 132 for 6, 1 ball remaining. It's a decent score, but maybe they've just left a few out there, and the death overs bowling. Got to give credit to the Steelbacks. 1 ball to go in this Derbyshire innings. They have to win this game for a chance at finals day. This is cut away, and oh my word, what a catch that is. I think it's Bella Howard coming in. It is in the number 9 shirt, and that is a brilliant way to close out the innings for Northampton. It's been a good bowling effort and backed up by a couple of brilliant catches as well.
Well, that was ridiculous. One-handed, running to her right, threw herself at the ball, and took the catch. I mean, that was remarkable, absolutely remarkable. So Derbyshire finished on 132 for 6. They might be slightly disappointed with that, I don't know. Millie Gray not out on 4. Was it Millie Gray was
I think
caught?
it was Gray.
Yeah, it was Gray was caught, wasn't it?
Just a message to the live stream team, if we can have some more replays of that, because I think we slightly missed it. I would like to see that again, even from a Derbyshire perspective, because it was a wonderful bit of fielding. Marriott, 2 overs, 2 for 7. I mean, that's your captain doing her work there.
I hate to tell you this, but they never listen to us. Adriana Darlow was the not out batter. Just run you quickly through the card. We'll take a short break. The highlights for Derbyshire: 34 from Lara Shaw and 34 from Ella Porter. There's been some really good fielding as well. A fine catch from Mabel Reid, stumping for Poppy Smart. That catch there from Bella Howarth as well. Really, really good. 3 for 19 for Anisha Patel off her 4 overs, a wicket apiece for Phillips and Kemp, and then Gemma Marriott at the end there, finishing with 2 for 7 off 2 overs. The skipper bringing herself on the ball the final 2 overs from the racecourse, and I'm going to let you enjoy the music wherever you're listening and watching. This one is so obscure it hasn't even come up on my phone. But we'll be back in 10 minutes as Northamptonshire chase 133 to beat Derbyshire in this hugely important Vitality Blast League 2 North Group game.
Steelbacks, 19 Gemma Marriott and 2 Amelia Kent.
Welcome back to the Central Co-op County Ground in Derby for the second innings of this game between Derbyshire and Northamptonshire in the Vitality Blast T20 North Group. Derbyshire women against Northamptonshire women. Derbyshire women, it's easy for me to say, made 132 for 6 in their 20 overs, 34 each for Ella Porter and Lara Shaw. A couple of wickets for the Northamptonshire skipper Gemma Marriott, but the standout bowler clearly Anisha Patel, 4 overs, 3 for 19, exceptional bowling. So Northamptonshire will require 133 to end Derbyshire's hopes of qualifying. I'm Dave Fletcher. This is Freddie Cardy. So if Northamptonshire win, they're still in with a chance. Is that how it works? Do they play? Tell me they don't play Yorkshire in that last game.
No, this is their last game.
Oh,
so Derbyshire, have sort of one more game to make up. Derbyshire are bottom of the table. I mean, it's good that Yorkshire have qualified ages ago, but 2, 3, 4 and 5 in a 5-team group can all qualify. So it's in a good position, to be fair. But Northants 2 points more than Derbyshire.
Here we go then, the start. That's a no ball to begin with. That's a very disappointing start for Francesca Clark, bowling from the City end to Amelia Kemp. I think is on strike. Yes, she is.
No ball and a free hit.
So it's a free hit and it's already one without loss. Here she comes again. Free hit then. In and bowls, and it's a swing and a miss. So a really good response from Clark.
Nice catch as well from Pittman behind the stumps. And Clark has been Derbyshire's new ball bowler. I think in all of these games she had an injury earlier this season, but she has been good in the power play.
She's in again now, bowls. That one is driven, but backward square and straight to the fielder. Ellie Nightingale, a backward point, nicely fielded. Nice and clean, throw in quickly. That's what you want. You want to give the impression to the Northamptonshire batters that there's no freebies out there. Don't take any chances. Or we'll have you. A fielder outside the circle. Deep backwards on another play and a miss, and the bails are whipped off this time as well by Pittman, who replaces them now, and that middle stump looks a bit wobbly. The two fielders outside the circle are at fine leg on the boundary, and a third man on the boundary down below us. So both behind the bat for the pace of Clark, who's halfway through her first over, and the Steelbacks one without loss. She's in again now and bowls. That one is driven, and that'll be 4. Once it beats the fielder on the edge of the circle, though, you're going to get value. Sun is shining. The outfield will be quickening up, I'm sure. Kemp off the mark with the boundary. 5 without loss, Northamptonshire.
Clark just a little bit too full, allowed Kemp to just lean into it and pick the gap between those fielders on the offside. As you say, lovely conditions now. Hopefully it's like this for the men's game later as well.
It's too hot. In comes Clark and bowls. That one is driven as well, and that'll be 4 more. This time backward a square on the offside. The fielder runs round but won't get there. Caitlin McDonald. And that is 4. BBC WM are here. Just you say something, Freddie.
Absolutely. You can have a nice chat as Clark walks back to her mark. A couple of boundaries there, and no ball. She got away with the free hit, which was nicely bowled. But Kemp has 8 to her name, and a good start this for the Steelbacks, chasing 133 to win their final game. Well, I'll hope it won't be their final game of the Blast campaign.
Final ball of Clark's over, but that one is down the leg side and signalled wide. 10 without loss. Just lost her line a bit there. Francesca Clark, a little bit disappointingly. There's WM here for the big one. Their side avoids defeat tonight, and they almost certainly go through. If they lose, they almost certainly don't. Here comes Clark. In again, and this one is beating the edge. There's a big appeal for caught behind. It didn't beat the edge, it took the edge, and Kemp goes for 8. Derbyshire strike in the first over. Could be a big wicket that. One of the openers goes, and Northamptonshire at the end of the first over are 11 for 1. 10 for 1.
Yeah, just fended at it outside off stump, and Clark with the extra delivery and that over after the wide. Well, a couple of extra deliveries because she bowled the no ball, first ball of this Northants response as well, and removes the dangerous Kemp, who looked in good nick there with those couple of boundaries, and Derbyshire have just got to keep chipping away. The sense is that Lara Shaw's going to be doing a little bit of the bowling, which I think would be for the first time this season. I did find out about Maria Andrews as well, who took 5 for against Northampton at Montage Road. She's away on an England development camp. She's part of the Blazes Academy set up. Her and Lara Shaw, I think, won some silverware there earlier this season. So no Maria Andrews, the left-arm spinner. It's going to be seam from both ends. Kayla McDonald, the left arm. There is some dancing there. We mentioned that earlier. Rhiannon Noling-Davis was enjoying this one.
What is it?
Pitbull, fireball, this. I think
It is, you're right.
Yeah, there we go. If I'm wrong, I'm going to find out straight away.
Well done, Freddie. Well done, son. Yeah, good start, this.
Music quiz.
Yeah. If only they did it during the first class matches as well. I was just looking at that Yorkshire-Leicestershire game, which of course has a huge bearing on what happens to Derbyshire here. Yorkshire made 142 for 6. Leicestershire in the second over 6 for 2. So lost a couple of wickets already. Here is McDonald bowling to Gemma Marriott, the Northamptonshire Steelbacks captain, who lifts this one into the leg side, and it plugs. And it is still going to get to the boundaries. Yes, just. Fielder coming round the boundary, couldn't quite get there in time, sadly. Jess Kuza, and it trickles over the boundary rope for 4. First ball of the over.
Took an age to get there, didn't it? And Kuza just watching the replay, I wonder if the dive might have
got nailed it. Yeah, I think you might be right.
dry patch on the outfield. But there has been a bit of rain, which does help if you have to skid across the grass.
In goes McDonald again. This time he's off an edge, down to third man. That was racing towards the boundary. It will be stopped before it gets there. They'll come back for 2. And again, that was a genuine edge. Wasn't trying to guide it quite that fine.
Yeah, interesting, there's nothing really behind square on the onside for McDonald. If she strays onto the pads, there's a lot of open space to score runs into.
There's Nigel, the photographer, down there, I think.
Yeah.
He's not going to be much use. McDonald in, and that one is driven but straight to the fielder. And Lara Shaw hurls it back to Pittman.
There's a photographer behind the photographer over there. I don't know if they're sent to like take nice pictures of each other, but if you're literally right, I think it's Nigel's at the back behind the sponsors, right. Somebody else is in front of him, propped up on a bigger seat.
Why is he there? Doesn't make any sense. McDonald on his way in again to bowl to Marriott, who drives. There is some cover out on the cover boundary, and they only get 1. Millie Gray is out there, away to our left-hand side. Throws the ball in, 17 for 1. Marriott moves on to 7. Brings Mabel Reid onto bat for the first time, onto strike. A stunning catch to get rid of Lara Shaw a little bit earlier on today. Reid, she waits now. As McDonald bowls to her, and she's bowled out. Gone straight through. There was some swing there for McDonald, and Reid goes first ball. And all of a sudden, Derbyshire are celebrating because Northamptonshire have lost their second wicket. Just looking at a replay of this one on the big screen. Oh, there's definitely some swing there, isn't it? And it's gone through the gate. Really nicely done. And Derbyshire celebrating because Northamptonshire are 17 for 2.
Yeah, Reid gone first ball. Leg stump removed by McDonald, who is a bowler who targets the stumps by nature. She went for 4 off that first ball. They looked to get after her, and both of these overs have been a little bit expensive, not too badly, but they've been able to finish them off, really. There's 1 ball remaining here, but a wicket, and they're going to keep chipping away at this Northants batting line-up, and yeah, nice delivery.
Next batter on the card that I have in front of me suggests it should be Ariana Dowse with 44 on her back. Of course, she's at the far end and I can't see her back.
The scorers have agreed.
Excellent. I'm not sure they've got much idea either there. So McDonald, 1 for 7. Last ball of her first over, the second over of the Northamptonshire innings. It'll have to be bowled again because that one's down the leg side.
That's what I mean
18
with
for 2.
all of that space, sort of behind the wicketkeeper's left shoulder.
Should have got something on that.
Yeah,
It's away, isn't it? It is away.
it's an attacking field.
Crowd continuing to build, which is good. People still coming in as this next one is down the leg side and will be signalled wide again. 19 for 2.
Nice crowd, actually, isn't it? The sort of the standard Monarch Security Services, that one over there with sort of the green top is nicely populated. There's not many opposite our view in the permanent temporary stand.
I think other security
members
services
are on
are
there.
available as well.
Yes,
on
they
the
are.
BBC Sport website and on 5 Sports Extra 2. This last ball is finally bowled in the McDonald over. It goes for 9 in the end. 19 for 2 at the end of the over, though, at the same stage after a couple of overs. Derbyshire were 12 without loss. I think I'd rather be 12 without loss than 19 for 2, if I'm honest. So possibly advantage Derbyshire at this early stage.
Is that the name of the stand, though, I'm wondering? What was the name of that stand before? If they're going with the sponsor's name.
Well, it used to be the East Midlands Demolition
Yes.
Stand. I was happy to say that. I'm not as happy, and nothing against the Security Services Company. I'm not as happy to say.
Plenty are available. And there are some stewards dotted around, actually,
Yeah.
on this sort of the edge of the
I think
boundary.
they work for that company.
They must do,
I
yeah.
think they do.
Still, the one photographer sits behind the other, which is puzzling me.
Is Francesca Clark to bowl the third over of the innings, whipped into the leg side by Marriott, but straight to a fielder. Fielder being Adriana Darlow, the skipper, at straight is catching mid-wicket.
Yes, for a good run chase here. Those Derbyshire fans, why not come in early? You've got the ticket for both games. There's qualification on the line.
Next delivery is wide of the off stump and cut away, and will that go for 4? No, it'll be cut off. Down to our right hand side by Caitlin McDonald, who was probably just thinking about the previous over that she'd bowled and suddenly called into action. 2 runs added to the total. 21 for 2. Marriott moves on to 9. 112 more runs to win. At 6 and over, and they're going at 9, but we are in the power play, and you'd expect that. In comes Clark again. So one that keeps a bit low. Full delivery, but goes underneath Marriott's bat, stopped by the pads of Megan Pittman behind the stumps.
Definitely a bit for the bowlers in this pitch. I think as we saw in the first innings. A couple have just skidded through, kept a little low, as you say.
Slightly alarmed by Megan Pittman wearing short sleeves and keeping wicket, as this one is wide of the off stump, cut away, and that'll be 4 to the boundary. Yeah, it is. There was a fielder giving chase, but I think she knew it was always going to go to the boundary, and that's exactly where it went.
Yeah, full and wide, and had to be put away, and was throwing her hands at the ball and through the covers, down where the Derbyshire coaches, who have been walking the whole time in both innings, strolling slowly around the boundary.
It's a tough life. 25 for 2. Marriott on to 13 off 8. She's clearly the danger here. I haven't said that down. She's only faced 1 delivery. They're now strengthening the offside. There's a fielder down at deep backward square leg and one down at quite a wide third man. There's a lot of fielders in the offside as Clark is on her way in again, bowls wide of the off stump, left alone by Marriott. You don't see many leaves in T20 cricket, but we've just seen one.
Maybe in the hope it was going to be called a wide, and a few eyes might have been towards the umpire.
It
Kept her hands down low.
nowhere near wide enough to be a wide, was it? From our vantage point,
Yeah,
certainly.
strange time to see a leave, certainly.
Yeah. She's in again. It's another full delivery from Clark that's driven into the offside. There's a slight misfield, but the batters had already decided they weren't going to take a run. And the over comes to an end. 6 off it. 25 for 2 after 3. Derbyshire at the same stage. 23 without loss. So definitely advantage Derbyshire at this early stage, but with that 4 overs to find, it could yet turn into quite an exciting game, if it isn't already.
Yeah, we've seen a bit of it all. We've seen sort of, a good number of boundaries. I don't think we had a 6 in that first innings, but certainly some good catches. The one off the final ball A fantastic catch from Howard. Worth going back through in the live stream. It's going to be Darlow, the captain, with her off spin to come on from the racecourse end. Caitlin McDonald did look to be coming into bowl, but it's not going to be her. It's going to be the spinner.
It can be. I mean, we saw a lot of the girls in the Northamptonshire innings bowl right through, didn't we? But it tend to happen too often in T20 cricket. Here's Darlow in and bowls to Das, who cuts this, and it's nicely fielded at point. Tumbling stop. I think it is, and she turned it back on Ellie Nightingale.
Yeah, Clark often bowls sort of maybe a 3-over spell. The rest of that, they like to chop and change. Darlow in this Derbyshire side.
Darlow's in again, plenty of loop on that one, and it did turn in towards Douse, and she's cut it away for 4 runs to backward point. So slightly unsuccessful delivery there. Looks like she's going to go the other side of the wicket now.
Just offering too much width there and put away nicely. They've latched onto anything short and wide, these two batters.
29 for 2. Around the wicket comes Darlow. That one is pulled into the leg side, not stopped on the edge of the circle, so they will get through for a single. That's in off the boundary. Comes Kuza to do the fielding. Laura Shaw couldn't stop it on the edge of the 25-yard circle. 30 for 2. Douse on to 5. Marriott on 13 off 10. Darlow is in and bowls to her, and that one is lifted out towards a wideish mid-off. It bounces on the edge of the circle and races away for 4 more. This is becoming a bit of a concern for Derbyshire now. 33. That's Leicestershire, you fool. What am I talking about? 33.
Scoreboards have disappeared everywhere as well. It doesn't help.
It drives me mad. 34 for 2.
You weren't far off.
I was quite happy with myself there. 34 for 2. It moves on to 17 off just 11 as Darlow is in. And that one's another loopy delivery, but nicely stopped this time by. Is it Shaw? No, it's not Shaw in there. It's McDonald who's moved in there now. So 1 ball of Darlow's first over to go. And it's pulled into the leg side. There is some protection out there in the form of Kuza. So they go through for a single at the end of the over. It's 10 off it, 35 for 2 after 4. 28 for 1, Derbyshire at the same stage. So Steelbacks well ahead of the run rate at the moment. The required rate is just above 6 and over. They're going along at almost 9 at the moment. So they'll have to stem the flow of runs if they possibly can. As Francesca Clark will bowl third over in a row. She's bowled 2 overs, 1 for 16. Oh, she'd like to turn that into 2 for something. She's into bowl to Marriott, who drives into the offside, but straight to Ella Porter, and there's no run.
Encouraging crowd as well, because the first game Derbyshire Falcons women hand here was a heavy 50-over defeat to Yorkshire, who went big with a bat, and then skittled Derbyshire. And you can just see, I covered that game and I've done this one, and the improvements have been really clear.
Comes Clark again, that's wide of the off stump, and the umpire keeps their hands in their pockets. We like that. 35 for 2 it remains. 2 dot balls to begin the over.
Certainly, I know we haven't had a catch yet, but that's certainly improved. But the ground fielding, massively. It was a big part in the Yorkshire game, sort of the pressure of playing against. Lauren Winfield-Hill was opening the batting, and
next delivery from Clark strikes the power. There's an appeal for leg before wicket. More out of help than expectation, I fancy. But it's 3 dot balls.
Yeah, and it's been an encouraging season for Derbyshire, still in with the chance of reaching finals day, and then we're back to 50-over cricket, which is a form of Derbyshire are winless in so far, and that'll be an interesting one to see how they improve in that format.
Comes Clark again and bowls. This one's been driven out into the offside. Now there are 2 fielders giving chase. Laura Shaw is the closest to it. Can she get there before it reaches the rope? Not quite.
Ooh.
Oh, actually she has. That's brilliant. She went over the rope. The ball didn't. And they come back 4-3, I think, in the end. That's good running. They pick up 3 more. Marriott moves to 21, 38 for 2. The bugle has no effect on the crowd once again.
That is a fantastic piece of. It's always nice when you're talking about fielding improvements, and Lara Shaw was one of the best bits of fielding of the game, but she timed that to absolute perfection, and it's going to save one run, but in this format, that can be absolutely vital.
I thought she'd taken it over the boundary with her. This one's guided very nicely by Dowse down towards third man for a single. 39 for 2. That was an excellent piece of fielding by Lara Shaw, especially after racing from the edge of the circle all the way to the boundary. Still have that, I don't know they have the energy to put the dive in as well. Excellent work from her. 39 for 2. That final ball of the 5th over is pushed into the offside, and there is no run. 39 for 2 after 5 then. Just 4 runs off that over from Clark, who's now bowled 3 overs, 1 for 20. Perfectly respectable figures for Caitlin Clark. Dowse has 6, Marriott has 21, and Steelbacks off 15 overs, need 94 to win.
Derbyshire, after the power play, were 45 for 1. So with 1 over to go in the power play, it's suggesting quite a tight run chase by the looks of it. McDonald back on from our end up here in the media centre, the racecourse end. The left armour just puts her marker down. Quite a wide run up, sort of angling into the stumps, and again that field of deep mid wicket. As McDonald comes in, right into the stumps, guided away to third, deep mid wicket and cover out on the boundary. She just looks to target the stumps, and she was able to do so in her first over, bowling Mabel Reid. First delivery she faced. Reid who's on loan from Essex. McDonald then Steelbacks at 39 for 2. It's in on the stumps, and that's through that area I was talking about where there's no protection back there. Down to a wide fine leg for 4 runs. And the boundaries keep coming for the away side. It was banged in a little bit by McDonald. And Northamptonshire will get the scoreboard back, 43 for 2. And the boundary for Dowse.
That's why we need that old scoreboard version, really. It just helps you remember where you are.
Yeah, you need one that's just going to be a scoreboard the whole game.
Yeah. For day cricket, the scoreboard that we've got inside the box tends to stay a scoreboard. Doesn't get quite as excited as it might do.
We can put replays on the screen, but there's very strict guidelines as to when. As McDonald bowls, this is cut and just beats the fielder at point, and I think that's going to run away for 4. Yes, it does. 2 4s in a row for Ariana Dowse, the wicket-keeper batter. It's the second game of her loan from Tier 1 Essex, only a 2-game loan for her, and looking to make her mark before going back to them, unless that's extended any further. Perhaps if they do get to finals day, they'll be on the phone to Essex and asking to keep her a bit longer as McDonald comes in again, full, driven to extra cover. Lara Shaw in there, who straight away is angling that throw into the wicket keeper, trying to keep the pressure on the batter.
They don't mind chucking it at the keepers, do they?
I do like Megan Pittman behind the stumps of a good season. 2 stumpings and a catch at Wantage Road as well. That's one of Derbyshire's 2 T20 wins. They haven't won here, Derbyshire Falcons women, this season. This is a good opportunity you feel to do it as McDonald bowls again and again. Cut between those 2 fielders around the point region, and it's the 3rd boundary of the over. It's been an expensive one.
The men haven't won here either. So it's been a fairly miserable place for Derbyshire. The 2 T20 senior T20 sides this season.
The fortress.
Yes, whatever the opposite of a fortress is, this is it.
50 up for the Steelbacks, going well here. 51 for 2. 1 ball remaining in the power play. McDonald to field the same for the most part. Softened up too much width in this over. That's a better delivery and flicked away through mid-wicket. Kuza comes in off the boundary. There'll just be a single. Mabel Reid, Ariana Dowse was interested for a moment, and after the power play, Northamptonshire 52 for 2.
just snatching the initiative a little bit there with that 13 run over. Leicestershire in pursuit of 143 to beat Yorkshire at Grace Road, which will be some kind of win. Are 46 for 2 at the end of the power play. They had been in all sorts of trouble early on. Lost the first 2 wickets very early, but they are fighting back in that one.
Didn't choose to.
We might have built her up a bit too much there. Ooh, my apologies. We might have built her up a bit too much.
We've seen bowlers respond though after a wide, as Francesca Clark did. This is driven away out through extra cover for a single. The fielder's out, deep cover, deep mid wicket, and deep square leg, as well as long on, who's blending in nicely with a blue advertising hoarding in the dark blue Derbyshire T20 kit. Nolan Davis in again, and that's just chipped away on the bounce out to Ella Porter, who batted well for the Falcons.
Look at the time. 4:30 and 55 seconds. 4:29 and 55 seconds. Which after this delivery will allow me to give you some news.
Absolutely. Nolan Davis coming in again. That's chipped down the ground. Nice sound off the bat, but it's just going to be a single down to long on. There's a slight misfield, and House wanted to chance the arm, and her batting partner said no thank you.
News is that Derbyshire's men's T20 skipper Samit Patel will leave the club after this season's Vitality Blast. Effectively, that means tonight will be Samit Patel's last match as a Derbyshire Falcons player, as the Derbyshire Falcons skipper. He's leaving the club.
Nolan Davis going to run a ball so far, and there's going to be another one here as it's driven away out to Kuza, who's being kept busy out on the boundary. Yeah, big news coming out of the men's camp. I mean, 40 years of age now, Patel, isn't he? And he's not retiring, we should make clear as well. Still going around on the T20 circuit, isn't he? And
I'd be surprised if Samit ever retires.
Still a wily operator. There's Nolan Davis bowls outside off stump, driven to Porter. Good fielding from her at cover, and one ball remaining, 56 for 2 in the 7th over. And
for those who'll be listening not only to this game, but also to Derbyshire's game against Birmingham, we will speak to Samit Patel at the toss tonight. So that'll be an interesting conversation. I'm looking forward to it enormously.
Nolan Davis to complete the 7th over. And it's just worked away through mid-wicket. Could be a couple here. And again, one batter. Dow's far more eager than Marriott. And after 7 overs, 57 for 2. Does that news come as much as a surprise in Fletch? You've covered the men's T20 side all season, and we felt this was the year where we'd see them maybe kick on and really challenge for a quarter-final spot. It's just not really worked out.
Well, I thought they were going to do it last season as well. I was slightly less optimistic about this season. I don't think it's a major surprise. He came in on a 2-year contract. He wanted to lead Derbyshire's men to greater heights than they'd previously seen. And it simply hasn't happened. So it will free up a bit of money, I'm sure. I don't think he was here for the love of it. And that will allow Mickey Arthur a little bit of leeway in the transfer market as well. I think it's just a result of 2 relatively disappointing seasons. They lost out last season, didn't they, in the final game? But if they'd won the final game at home,
You'll have to trawl through some scorecards, but she's had a good start here, 2 dot balls.
all right, I'll do that. I printed them out.
You certainly have. This will keep you busy. But a couple of tasks so far.
Yeah, I failed the first one.
Porter over the wicket. That's given a lot of flight, but again, it drops just before reaching the bat, which actually, there's nothing wrong with that, because when it leaves the arm, you start to worry from a Derbyshire perspective. Actually, just dropped underneath the bat nicely, and 3 dot balls from Ella Porter.
She hasn't bowled this season.
There we go. This has been a good start. Bat, again, is on the full and swept. That's the first run against them. 4 balls out to square leg. Another backward square on the boundary.
It's a really good start for somebody who hasn't bowled in the competition.
Yeah.
Really good.
Bowling with sunglasses on, which can be debated sometimes. I think it's all right for a spinner.
I don't mind. Yes, only for a spin.
Be impressive to see a seamer do it. This is in the air. It's going to evade mid-off and will just cost a single. Well, if Porter's going to be Derbyshire's 5th bowler, this has been an encouraging start for the Falcons faithful, of which there is a more than respectable crowd in.
It's growing. It's continuing to grow. It's good to see.
Northampton are packed with their couple of substitutes, and then the rest of their batting lineup. 2 of them have been dismissed so far. This is driven down the ground mid-off. Sorry, it's just going to run over it and allow long off to come round. And after Porter's first over, just 3 conceded from it, and the Steelbacks after 8, 60 for 2. They need 73 more to win. They are above the run rate, and Derbyshire needs some wickets. But that was a good over from Porter.
But they're getting closer, aren't they? The run rate itself is starting to tumble a little bit with just 8 runs off the last 2 overs. You take out that Caitlin McDonald over. The one before that one, he went for 4 as well. So 24 in 4 overs, back down to 6-0, which is what they require, but it's just starting to come down a touch as RKD will continue from, as I'm sure she'll be come down from the city end.
She works as a chef
Does
away
she?
from cricket. There's Noeling Davis.
I need to get to know her then.
Yeah.
To know
We could provide our media food if we're lucky.
Well,
Yeah, we did that. Should provide an update on the Swiss roll, which was excellent as well as Noeling Davis bowls, and driven back down the ground. It was destined for the stumps actually at the non-strikers end, and Noeling Davis I think just got a hand to it, and it's a dot ball. Steelbacks 60 for 2. Derbyshire posted 132 for 6 off their 20 overs. As I bring up a scorecard, Lara Shaw 34, opening the batting as Noeling Davis comes in again, full and just worked away to point for no run. Cusa 12, Nightingale 15, and then crucial runs. Ella Porter 34 of 25, Pittman chipped in with 12 of 10, Allen 6, Gray 4, Darlow was 1 not out, and Gray brilliantly caught off the final ball of the innings, and a good game on our hands here as Noeling Davis comes in again. It's lifted away, backward of square for 4, and a couple of overs without a boundary, but that's a really nice shot.
it was a good shot, wasn't it? I'm surprised you by coming back.
At the right time, just to see the boundary.
First boundary since the end of the 6th over, when McDonald was hit for 4 by Dowse.
Yeah, Marriott, 29 of 30. Former Hertfordshire and Middlesex player. Was at Loughborough University, as a few of these Derbyshire players are and were as well. That's driven away through the covers for 4 more. Another nice shot, and Derbyshire, when they concede boundaries, they come in clusters, really.
Yes.
They get after the bowlers, this Northants pair. Another nice shot.
Yes. They need you're right now, they need wickets down there in Derbyshire here if they're going to keep these hopes of getting the finals day alive. Leicestershire have lost their 3rd wicket now. They're 65 for 3 in the 9th over, chasing 143 to beat Yorkshire at Grace Road.
Slower ball wide, and the umpire's arms are outstretched to signal, and another extra against Derbyshire's name on the scoreboard. 52 this partnership from 41 deliveries. They're steering the Steelbacks in the right direction as Noeling Davis comes in again, and that's again just driven off the back foot, away through the covers. Cusa with a little bit of work to do, and 2 more to the total, 71 for 2. Ball remaining in our over.
The irony is that the part-time bowler has been the most economical so far. I should have bowled 1 over Porter.
Ball and Nolan Davis' second over. She's jumped away. Again, Kuza is doing a lot of running on the extra cover boundary, and again, Dowse wants the second run after that over. 72 for 2, 11 remain. It's an interesting one with Porter, isn't it? Because if she bowls really well, the question's going to be asked, why hasn't she bowled all season?
Where
But
has she been?
Derbyshire do have the off-spin options. Darlow and Harriet Parkin, who isn't playing, is an off-spinner as well. Gemma Rose, the leg spinner, isn't playing. So they do have plenty of spin options, but Porter bowled really nicely in that first over. She's not going to continue, though. She is going to be replaced by the other off-spinner, Adriana Darlow, who's a little expensive. Her first over going for 10.
Yes, it seems a long time since Derbyshire picked up wickets in the first 2 overs and had Northamptonshire at 17 for 2. This partnership worth 55 off 43.
Here is Darlow starting off over the wicket, and that's a little bit of an edge through third. And another day that would have flown away to the boundary, but it's just held up a little bit in the outfield, and Derbyshire won't mind that at all. Just 2 runs for Marriott, who's moving along nicely here, 38 of 34. Proves as well you can be a little bit behind and run the ball, but you can quickly catch up, and that's all they need at the moment. Northants, the run rate is above 8 and over. They need just 5.5, so Derbyshire have a lot of work to do. They're going to need wickets quickly here. As Darlow bowls, cut away to the fielder. He comes around from deep cover to point to do the fielding.
But as the side chasing, they no longer need to take any risks at all, because they're not looking to try and get to 160 or anything like that.
This is cut away again to exactly the same position as the last delivery. This time will just be a single. And that's how Northants did it in the last game against Derbyshire. Butcher scored 47-45 as they fell 17 runs short. And when you are chasing a lower score, you can't afford to have one player who just anchors the innings, and that's what Marriott's looking to do here. This is defended off the back foot. Good fielding by mid-off. I love the fact that Darlow was scampering around just to make sure if there was a misfield and the bowler was there to help her out. She's coming around the wicket now. Steelbacks 76 for 2. Chasing 133 at a sunny Central Co-op County ground. Still plenty of cloud in the sky, but the sun peeking through, and a warm day in Derby. Darlow again outside off stump and just played gently out to the cover fielder. Again, Derbyshire about one of the most prolific bowlers, and young Maria Andrews, and how costly that might be, we'll have to see. 5 for at Wanted Road. This is one through mid-wicket for a single. Rhiannon Nolan Davis comes around to do the fielding, and after the 10th over, the Steelbacks are 77 for 2. Derbyshire after 10 was 62 for 1. So Northants clearly in a very good position.
Yeah, players will take a little drinks break now. Yeah, the only player to get 5 for Francesca Clark's best this season, 3 for 14. McDonald 3 for 12, her best figures so far this season. I say so far, she's not going to get 3 for. Well, she might do. She's got 1 for 22 so far, but Derbyshire definitely needs some wickets here because at the moment, heading out to the competition, it would seem halfway stage at Grace Road, chasing 143. Well, Leicestershire Foxes are on course, which is remarkable. 69 for 3 they are at the moment. 40 for Sweet off 28 deliveries with 7 fours. She's doing the bulk of the scoring at the moment. Of course, if Leicestershire win, then it pretty much ends Derbyshire's hopes anyway. Derbyshire would want to keep it in their own hands going through to that final game at Repton on Sunday, weather permitting. Tomorrow looks terrible. We're going to get 7 years rain in 5 minutes or something tomorrow. Something along those lines. It'll be very wet.
Yorkshire haven't lost yet. 29 points from 6 games going into today. Leicestershire have done well. 1-3, lost 3, and finals day at Wantage Road.
Home of cricket.
Yeah, Well, and Northants as well. That's the extra, little incentive for them to win this, being the chance of a home finals day, which, well, I think Glamorgan have qualified already. They're going to be in Tier 1 in 2 years' time. I mean, if that's not a Glamorgan Yorkshire final, you'd be surprised, really, on paper, but maybe we'll have an upset.
Middlesex, the other team who
yes,
have already
Middlesex
qualified.
doing well.
They're both in the points in the 20s, and then everybody else is trailing in their wake.
It took the ECB a long time to actually update the table this season to realise that there's a North and a South group. They put it all in one big table for a good few months, thanks to the BBC Sport website for having it accurately for a lot longer.
Major surprise that the ECB got it wrong.
There's I think, is it Porter coming on from
It is.
the other end, the City end? Indeed, number 78.
Ella Porter, who bowled really nicely from the racecourse end over number 8, just went for 3 runs, has now been asked to bowl from the City end and apply the brakes to this Northamptonshire chase of 133. They need 56 runs off the last 10 overs. It should be fairly straightforward if they don't lose wickets, which means that Derbyshire need wickets. And Porter is on her way in, flights that one, it's cut away, but straight to the fielder at
Substitute, Severe McCollum's the Derbyshire 12th man, and
it's another 44 who Sophia
McCollum.
Thank you.
Macker, I'd imagine.
Yes, you'd hope so, wouldn't you? Sophie Mack. This one is a full toss that's driven down the ground by Marriott for her 41st run, 78 to now Northamptonshire. It would be something, wouldn't it, if both of the Derbyshire teams, the men and the women, managed to go through entire campaigns not winning on this ground. As this one's floated and driven back to her by Dowse, well stopped by Porter.
Yeah, well, an optimistic viewing for later, but hard, isn't it, when you've got nothing to play for, as the men have later on. You've got a big 4-day game next week against Leicestershire, where Derbyshire are in much better fortune so far in the county championship.
Porter bowls, Dowse swinging a miss outside the off stump. Well, you say that, but they haven't had anything to play for quite some time now.
No, maybe the pressure's off, as we saw at Headingley.
Destroy Yorkshire. Lancashire did pretty much the same last night. And the Roses match as Porter, 2 balls left of this over, flighted again, clipped into the leg side by Dowse. They've run 1, they're going to come back for the second, and they'll probably get there as the ball eventually comes back in. It wasn't a bad throw from Lara Shaw, but just could have been in a bit quicker. 80 for 2 now, as Dowse moves on to 25.
It'd be good to have that next year, actually, in the women's game. The fact that Yorkshire are going up, you get that women's Roses match. A couple of good double headers there. Need those rivalries.
Porter bowls again, that one's clipped into the leg side once more. More work out in the deep for Lara Shaw. This time she gets to it quickly and throws the ball back in just a single take. 81 for 2 at the end of the over. So just 4 runs off that over as well. She's bowled 2 overs for 7. As Ella Porter, who, if she doesn't bowl all 4 of her overs, questions will be asked in the house.
And it's also where, the 1 over spells do make sense, I think, in this format. But what I don't like about them is if a bowler's, bowling well, you end up holding them back just almost for the sake of it. And, Clark bowled well, bowled the 3 overs, but Porter went for 4 off her first and then was taken out of the attack and changed end. So I just wonder if maybe that wasn't the right move. And actually, when you have your 5th bowler on, just get through their overs almost as quickly as you can, try and stem the flow of the runs.
Darlow bowls wide of the off stump and it's signalled wide. 82 for 2, beginning of the 12th over, with Northamptonshire on 82 for 2, as I said. As Darlow bowls, that one's off the pads, goes back to the square on the leg side, no run taken. They just need more than 3 or 4 quiet overs now, though. They're doing what they can to G each other up out there. As Darlow is in, and that one is guided just back to a square on the offside. A nice sliding stop there. And that's Sophia McCollum.
Yeah, I think there could be a bit more energy in the field. I liked it about the Northants innings, but it is hard when there is the pressure on, as you say, the winless at home, and this I imagine this is the biggest crowd, certainly the biggest home crowd they've played in front of this season.
It's lifted into the leg side, just shy of the fielder who was waiting there. Ella Porter bounced about 4 yards in front of her. Not ball though, 83 for 2 it remains. Halfway through a third over here. Darlow, that one's down the leg side, will be signalled wide.
Has been a quiet crowd here generally, though, in the T20 this season. You know, when Samet first came in, he talked about making it a fortress, and there's been a lot of work to try and do that. And just from the first ball here, I remember against Northampton, it's been very quiet.
Darlow bowls, that one is driven into the offside, and there's no run. Tash Allen.
Of course, against Notts, it was more vocal. You know, the crowd get going a bit there. But
And the lights went off.
yeah, goodness me. It seems like a long time ago now, that game.
was this year.
Yeah. The delay was long enough.
Darlow bowls. We were meant to fill it. Pulled into the leg side, picked up one-handed nicely. Then there could be a run out here. Oh, that was close, you know. That was close. Now it's coming back to the danger end. Good throw.
The best bit about that game was once the music was able to be back on, was they played All of the Lights by Kanye West, and I think they played Electric Feel, and then something else about lights. It was some very clever music choices.
I think Clever would be giving them too much credit, Freddie. That one is driven down the ground by Marriott for a single. She moves to 44. Dowse has 27. And Northamptonshire are 87 for 2 after 12. Just 6 runs off that over, and there have been 3 quietish overs now, but the required rate just around 6 and over, and it's only going to be Wickets that will help Derbyshire get themselves back into this game.
Yeah, Northampton are just doing what they need to at the moment. They don't need these boundaries. They're still comfortably above that required rate, as you say, and Derbyshire need a wicket. I wonder if you feel Clark or McDonald are your strike bowler, you know, bring them on now, try and break this partnership. But, you know, stemming the flow of runs as well has worked, and a few more overs like this.
Porter bowls, and that one is driven, but straight to the fielder. And there's no run. I'm starting to think it might be me. I've seen 3 T20 wins, I think. 4, is it 3 or 4? Might be 4 actually now. This season. Porter bowls. That's a little flatter, and it's cut away on. Fine piece of fielding on the edge of the circle. Keeps them down to a single. That was excellent work there from Jess Kuza. On the edge of the circle, had to get down quickly and dive away to her right. She's just ringing her right hand out now. That was beautifully done. Saved 3 runs, 88 for 2, 45 to win. As Porter is in on there. Might be an above waist high no ball. It's been clubbed into the leg side. Wait and see what the umpires decide here. Having a look at each other and saying that was okay.
I feel like they've been lenient this season on no balls. I really do. And wides as well. It's like the leg side wides. They've been a little more generous towards the bowlers.
They've changed the regulation on the leg side wides as the batter moves and the wide moves with them. So,
which I like.
I do too. Bowls. This one's been lifted down towards long off. One bounce. Watch out for the spin. Excellent piece of fielding down there. Single taken by Marriott, who moves on to 46. 90 for 2. So only 3 runs off this over, but it's not really denting the required rate at all. I've seen so many of these games this season.
Slow burners.
Yeah, Porter balls. Now then, half a chance is it? No, it's going to land a few yards in front of the fielder at long on. They're going to go through for another single. Dowse will move on to 29 and Steelbacks to 91.
And if there's no boundary here, it'll be 4 overs without one, which is good going for these Derbyshire spinners.
There is Porter then. As you get out of this third over, it's a full delivery. It's down the leg side and signalled wide. I was waiting for it.
It took an age.
Yes, it did take the umpire quite a while to decide that was wide down the leg side, but it looked it from here.
Porter threw her head up in the air so early, she gave the game away.
So she'll have to bowl the final ball of her third over again. In she comes. Bowls to Marriott. Full toss. Beaten into the offside. Bounces just in front of the fielder, who fields it one-handed on the boundary. Excellent work. And they're only going to get a single. The umpires will again have a look at each other, but it was below waist height. So a single taken. And at the end of that one, 6 from it in the end. 93 for 2 with 7 overs to go.
Yeah, 4 overs without a boundary, but Steelbacks still in a very good position, needing 40 from 42. Marriott will be eyeing up a half century. And it's going to be Caitlin McDonald, the left armer, who found a bit of swing in her first over to bowl Reed.
They have to go back to their two frontline bowlers from the start of the innings. I'll be surprised to see Francesca Clark bowl her last over as well. 3 overs, 1 for 20, but there's no point in losing the game and having her only bowl 3 overs. In the same way that there's no point in losing the game and McDonald not bowling her 4 either, really.
There's not a lot of point almost now in planning ahead to those death overs. You've got to push Northants back as much as you can, and I think the way how carefully they've been playing maybe suggests there's not loads of batting to come as well, because they've not really been taking any risks, which has been fine. But you just wonder if Derbyshire can open the door, if more wickets can fall. But these two have been very, very steady.
Should carry on. 91 for 3 after 13 in pursuit of 143 against Yorkshire at Grace Road. McDonald bowls. That one is driven out into the offside. There is a cover out there. And they go through for a single. It was Laura Shaw. There's the cover on the boundary away to our left-hand side.
Very bright coloured kits in the Bone temporary stand. I want to say one is a West Indies shirt. I couldn't tell you what the other one is. There's an orange and yellow combination.
Yeah, one of them looks West Indies, doesn't it? McDonald bowls and she goes for the ramp down and misses. Floods into Pittman's pads. Started to become a really healthy crowd. Inside the Central Co-op County Ground. It's Derbyshire Women's penultimate game in the Blast. It will be Derbyshire's final game. As McDonald is in, it's dropped a little bit shorter. It's gone up in the air. Is it going to be a catch? No, it's gone just beyond the fielder. It was a top edge. And Tash Allen went racing back as it came over her shoulder. It would have been a spectacular effort that she'd taken it, but she couldn't quite stick out the arms to reach it. 95 for 2. Dallas moves on to 30.
Yeah, a couple of those today. The fielder's just trying their best and just not being able to get there.
And goes McDonald again. That one is driven straight to the field. They're going to go through for the single. The fielder actually was off balance. A good throw, though, from the edge of the circle. Actually crashes into the stumps from Millie Gray.
Yeah, good running. They set off immediately. And it was driven hard as well into the covers, but they were determined on the single.
They might have been the few runs that you were asking me about. How many have they left out there, do you think? Because there was a bit of iffy running in the middle period, wasn't there, from Derbyshire, when there was a lot of yes, no, and ones instead of twos. That one's been flicked away down towards fine leg. There's a long chase around for the fielder from deep backward square leg. He gets the applause from the bowler as she gets there. And they pick up 2 more, and Dallas moves to 32-98 for 2 with 1 ball of the 14th over remaining.
Yeah, I agree. Derbyshire ran the twos really well, certainly in the power play in the first half of the innings, and then maybe as the new batters kept coming in, they were just a little bit more hesitant. But also just couldn't quite find the boundary enough, as Northants did very well in the power play.
5 runs off the over so far from McDonald. This is the final ball of her 3rd. And she's into bowl to Dowse, who lifts this into one. Not entirely sure what she was trying to do there. It's up with the ball bouncing into the hands of Sophia McCollum at a point, and the over comes to an end. So 5 runs from it. Again, another really good over, but not putting a dent in the required rate at all. And if you look at Douglas Lewis, which is on the scoreboard as a guide, 86 is where the Steelbacks should be, so they're definitely in front. And this looks like Francesca Clark, who is going to bowl. Is it Francesca Clark?
Yeah, looks it. Yeah. 5 overs are out of boundary now, so. But it's just not enough. I mean, these two.
Just don't need them, though.
Yeah, they came together at 19 for 2, and they're now 98 for 2, 12 overs later.
Yeah, really good partnership. 81 off 73, the scoreboard tells us. It's the kind of maths that I couldn't possibly do.
Lots of radio equipment next door, keyboards and everything going on. WM.
Wait till you see ours in a minute when we finish the.
More to come.
Oh, much more. Yeah. You won't able to see the Formica.
I'll be getting out the way.
for a
So I'll be
quick-
going over to my camera position for the evening.
Quite a swiftish turnaround. We'll have about 40 minutes or so. That's more than enough, really.
Some sandwiches and cookies. Await.
I think most of those have been eaten. Here comes Francesca Clark. First ball is cut away. Beats the fielder on the edge of the circle, who is McCollum. And they go through for a single. Marriott's half century of 51 balls, so just slightly less than a run a ball. It's been a terrific innings from Marriott, who bowled nicely as well at the end of the innings. I mean, this is a proper captain's knock, isn't it? 5 fours only, but she hasn't had to take too many risks. 99 for 2. Dowse is back on strike. Ariana Dowse, who goes for the scoop, lifts it up. She's going to be caught, and she is caught. And that's a very straightforward catch for Ella Porter, and that might just give Derbyshire a little bit of hope. They didn't need to take risks. She took a risk. Francesca Clark picks up her second wicket of the match. As I say, a very straightforward catch in the end. And all of a sudden, a little glimmer of hope for Derbyshire with Northampton 99 for 2.
Just got into a bit of an awkward position, did Dowse, the way she played that scoop, which was effective a couple of times for Porter, who was a player who took the catch. But the fact that Clark did not celebrate one bit, I think tells you that Derbyshire have a lot more work to do. But it's a timely breakthrough. Marriott's still going well at the other end. A good knock by Dowse, who goes for 32 off 28. 4 boundaries in that innings, and Northants, well, the run rate starting to drop a tiny bit, but not enough. 34 needed off 34, so still a game here. There is still a game here.
Come on, Freddie, build it up, son. Build it up, son. That's what we need. I don't know what this song is.
It's the one we had in the first inning, so already the playlist is going on loop. We need a few more. Unless it is, like I say, the one that Northants choose for their players to walk out to each time they come out. Pitbull.
Ella Howarth is the new batter who took that screamer of a catch to finish off the Derbyshire innings. And first ball is cut away. Oh, goes straight through McCollum. That's a little bit disappointing. And she's off the mark. First ball and 100 comes up for Northamptonshire. 100 for 3 in the 15th over.
Well, Clark doing her job, coming back on. There's a couple of the Birmingham Bears players. It feels wrong just calling them Bears. I don't know.
It feels wrong calling them Birmingham because it's Warwickshire. In comes Clark, and ball strikes the pad as Marriott tries to flick this away into the leg side. No appeal from the bowler.
The hospitality guests are in as well. Why wouldn't you be as well in this weather? With a good crowd in.
I'm going to tell you who it was, but I have absolutely no idea.
No.
One of their big hitters by the look of the size of the unit that he is. Here is Clark, 2 for 22 from 3.4 bowls, and that one is driven down the ground by Marriott for her 51st run, 101 for 3, 32 to win now. And it's gone above a run a ball. Will that wicket? And she did take a chance, Ariana Dowse, with the trying for the scoop shot.
This is why they brought Clark and McDonald back on. Clark doing the job. And
Well,
that 2 for her.
I'd bowl McDonald out as well. Get that run rate up close to 7, something like that, and just try and put a bit of pressure on. Clark's final ball of the innings then is wide of the off stump, not taken cleanly by Pittman, and they go through for a bye, I fancy. Was there a bottom edge on it? There was a bottom edge on it, so it is a run. 102 for 3 now, just 4 runs off that over and the wicket. It looks as though they're going to turn again to Porter, who's removed her cap. But we have 5 overs to go. Freddie's going to call this Derbyshire victory. It's going to be an absolute thriller.
Yeah.
And you'll have all the maths to work out as well, which is ideally set way I plan this.
You've done that very well.
Absolutely.
And,
I'm not stupid.
Yeah, I've done a few Derbyshire games this season, and I think this is one of the best positions, which is saying something, that they've got themselves into to try and win one here. But they've got to field well. Every ball now is crucial. Even in that last over, you look at that, the first ball for Howarth that's cut away should have been a dot ball. You know, Pittman should have taken that behind the stumps, and every run is crucial now. The run rate 6.8, required is 6.2. They need just over a run a ball. And whether they'll look to get on with it quickly You need just one big over now if you're Northants really to get right in front of the right above, and that's not going to help. It's just jab out to the offside. What you want now for Derbyshire, just to have something to defend going into that last over. Who will bowl it? It's going to be very interesting. Nolan Davis still has 2 up her sleeve.
At the moment, if it's above 6, they'll have a chance.
Porter, full toss, down to long on. Fielded by Nolan Davis on the bounce. They think about the second run.
She did well there because that was spinning and it could have bounced anywhere off this surface. So she's done really well to get both hands to that.
There'll be nerves out there as well now. You know, Derbyshire in this position. Big home crowd. I'm sure there'll be some shouts coming from hospitality and elsewhere of encouragement. This is swept away. Back of the square. It's Francesca Clark running around to do the fielding. And oh no, it was a good stop. It's just stayed inside the boundary, has it? Well, I thought that might have been a calamitous one if that just flicked up over the boundary, but it just about stayed in. She's got away with one there. Because it was a good piece of fielding, but they nearly made a meal of it.
Chuck it away. It was excellent work. They just stopped dead, didn't they, inside the rope.
Yeah, the cricket ball can do funny things, as Mohammed Siraj found out the other day. It can be unpredictable. Porter, again, given some flight, driven away. This is a good piece of fielding, but she didn't release the ball quickly enough. Just taken off guard, and some good football skills from the wicket keeper as the ball was thrown back in.
I don't think Darlow knew which end to throw it to there because the batters went. Did they get the single? They did. They did. 106 for 3. But there was a lot of hesitation. She was on the floor having stopped the ball, and she stopped it nicely.
Porter. Still, we go on without a boundary as well in all of these overs. So that's given a lot of flight straight at the fielder mid-wickets close in, and it's Caitlin McDonald who just had to wear that one a little bit, I feel. And you've got to put your body on the line. 27 needed off 25. 1 ball left in Porter's spell. It's the first bowl she's had this season for Derbyshire. And she's bowled really nicely. Just 17 runs so far. Can she get out of her spell in this over? This is driven away. It's just going to be a single. They might look to push for 2. And again, they think about it. Almost every ball, they're turning and taking a few steps before going back. And that's the end of the 16th over. 107 for 3. The boundaries have dried up. Runs are just enough still for the Northamptonshire Steelbacks, who need 26 more to win.
Nolan Davis has got to bring herself back on here because she's got 2 overs to go. McDonald's got 1 and Darlow's got 1. So Nolan Davis has got to bowl the last 2 overs from the city end here. She's had 2 overs for 17 so far.
It's going to be Darlow from the city end, the off-spinner.
So it shows you what I know.
Well, we'll see. You might be proved right.
No, that would make sense. Because Nolan Davis will bowl the 2 overs from this end, Freddie.
There we go.
Come on, son.
It's the maths, you see. You predicted that.
When you get to my age and you've been doing it this long, you're corrected by younger and younger people as my career goes on. I'm being corrected by a 12-year-old here.
There'll be people who believe that listening in as well. I can tell you, this is driven down to long off for single. That's all up with all Northamptonshire need at the moment.
Well, I've seen you on the stream.
Yeah, they've seen way too much of us on the stream, by the way.
Baby-faced.
Well, I started out a bit younger, and when you come to doing players younger than you, you start to feel old. So there's a shout. Oh, it's Boulder. It's gone all the way through, and there we go. Darlow, the captain, bringing herself on. And it's the captain who gets the captain. Gemma Marriott departs for a much-needed half-century, but does this just leave the game open now for Derbyshire? A little bit adrift from Darlow and removing middle and leg by the looks of it. Big celebrations behind the stumps from the wicket-keeper Pittman, and that's a big, big wicket. Marriott gone for 54 off 56.
That could be huge. Absolutely huge. 5 4s, 56, as Freddie says. All of a sudden, 108 for 4. I won't tell you how many it is off how many balls because I can't do that. But I'll tell you something.
25 or 22.
Yes, almost 7 and over now. And the last time they conceded more than 6 and over was in over 9. This is excellent work from Derbyshire. They've sort of hung in there, haven't they?
It really have.
Clinging on by their fingertips to this possibility of.
Northants have gone with a careful and collected approach, and it may just not be enough if they can't get over the line here. This is going to be box office these final few overs. Darlow, I mean, somebody's going to have to swing for the boundary at one point because 25 needed off 22. Somebody's going to have to take a risk, and they have not been able to do that. I think I'm right in saying the last boundaries were scored in the 9th over.
Halfway through the 9th over, Marriott scored it. It was 64 for 2 at the time.
It's been far too long. Here is Darlow to the new batter speed, and it's wide.
That's never been a wide.
Speed in, and her first ball is a wide. Fletcher goes out to it. Said, "This is your first Derbyshire women game, and you have got very much into it, which I'm pleased about."
Never been a wide.
Darlow will lift the bowl it again. Then she goes wide again. She's just tapped away to point. The fielder Sophia McCollum. I imagine Ella Porter is still on. I'm not sure who's gone off as the sun goes behind the clouds at the Central Co-op County Ground. It's a good start to the evening. If Derbyshire women were to win this, it would be a historic win. Their first win in front of their home fans. Is a round of applause there as we have another dot ball. This crowd are invested in, and it shows why these double headers are so important as well. Even though it's not the same two teams playing in both games. So the Birmingham Bears later. And there's another dot ball worked away to square leg. Excellent miss by the captain Darlow. Removed the opposition skipper Gemma Marriott for a well-made 54. And
out this over now, Freddie. She's only conceded 2 off the over so far.
Catherine Speed, 0 of 3. That run rate continuing to climb. 24 still needed. 3 overs and 1 ball remaining. Darlow, the off-spin, quicker and flatter. There'll be 1 here through mid-wicket. They're going to push hard, and they're going to come back for a second. Throw comes into the wicket-keeper, who removes the stumps, and the umpire raises the finger. This is game on, folks. This is game on at the Central Co-op County Ground. 2 wickets in the over, and that is a game-changing one from Adriana Darlow.
What a throw.
Brilliant.
What a throw. Nobody expected that. They were a little bit tardy trying to get back for the second. They'll get 1, so 110 for 4, I believe the score to be. Just 3 runs off the over. It was Lara Shaw's throw. The rest of the work was done by Pittman behind the stumps. The batter was miles out of her ground. Catherine Speed, who rather belied her name there, sadly for her. She didn't get back in time, and that is a terrific over. Just what Derbyshire needed. It was a really, really good throw. It is 110.
Just 3 off it, and 2 wickets. And we just said if the door is open, then this could be game on. Speed goes, I think it was 0 to 4.
Yeah.
And Lenny Sims, the Italy international, comes in. Pitbull gets another run out. I told you, when there's wickets falling, you get the same song over and over again. I don't know if this gives him extra revenue, but he's having a good day out today and is Mr. Worldwide. As Rhiannon Noling-Davies, as you predicted, comes back on. 23 needed off 18. Who's this game favouring now, Fletch? Call it for me.
I think this is now Derbyshire's to lose. They haven't conceded more than 6 runs in an over since the 9th over, and this is the 18th.
Would be the first Derbyshire T20 win, men's or women's, on home soil here at the Central Co-op County Ground. Noling-Davies, 2 overs left of her spell. That was tight into off stump and taken well. She's had a good game behind the stumps, as she often does, Megan Pittman. And fielding's been really good today, Fletch.
Sweaty palms.
That doesn't happen often.
No,
it's not just the
humidity. I don't see many close games.
You nearly said wins there. There's Noling-Davies bowls wide. Oh dear, that's what happens when you talk it up. It's edged down to the boundary. It's the first boundary since the 9th over. They all count now for the Steelbacks. 4 to Sims's name.
That is unfortunate. That is very unfortunate. I think the last boundary might have been one of those as well, you know.
Yeah, quite possibly.
I'm just going to check, because I've got a video of it here. Let's have a look. And it was off Noling-Davies. No, it was pulled around the corner down to deep backward square leg.
Here is Noling-Davies again. Wide again, cut. Well fielded. Oh, they're quick for the single. That's some really good running. And it brings Sims back on strike. They've set off straight away now. 18 required of 15. Halfway through, Noling-Davies is over. Northamptonshire chasing 133 to win. if it's a tie, because we're boring here in English cricket, there is no super over.
No,
And
nor should
we
we.
just, come on,
No,
we want a super. I know we've got another game to come.
no, we
but
don't.
push that back.
Don't start all that American nonsense.
Here's Nolan Davis. Another super over, driven away to extra cover, and again they're quick with the running. Could well happen a tie here. And now don't ask me what that means in terms of finals day and everything.
2 points each. If Leicestershire lose,
Yeah, the Derbyshire could still be in contention. So Derbyshire are cheering on Yorkshire at the moment. They've got to get the job done themselves. Oh, as this is edged of getting away down to third. The fielder back there is Porter, who's chased and thrown the ball back in. It's just going to be two. More lightning outfit. A couple of those would have flown away. This has been a productive over, though, for the Steelbacks so far.
yeah, it's off it. Leicestershire 120 for 5. They need 23 off 11 at Grace Road to beat
Fancy
Yorkshire.
Yorkshire
You'd fancy
there to-
Yorkshire.
yeah,
there,
to close that one
you would. You would. That would be cruel if Derbyshire don't get over the line here. And they missed the opportunity. Although, I'll have to look at the league table now.
One ball left of the 18th over. Dan Mosley and Jake Lintop have gone for a net and walking round the Bears against Derbyshire later. Here's Nolan Davis trying to win this one for the women's team. There'll be two here, again down to third. And comfortable too. It's been a very, very good over for the Steelbacks. Finally a boundary. And they need 13 to win off the final two. This is going to be close.
I'm afraid we had 10 off that one. And she's got to bowl the last over as well, I think.
It'll be McDonald now.
Darling Davis, yeah. McDonald needs to bowl a really tight over here, a really tight over. At the moment, according to this, I thought they were 4 points behind, but according to this, they're 5 points behind, according to this table, behind Leicestershire. So they'd need a bonus point win. And they're not easy to come by, are they? In fact, I'm not sure how many teams have got them.
I think Yorkshire are the only one, unsurprisingly.
Well, Leicestershire must have one if they're on 11, and Worcestershire must have one if they're on... Anyway, all that to come.
Yeah, it doesn't actually say bonus points on there, on the
No,
table,
no,
which again is
it's
really
hopeless, isn't it?
helpful.
It's absolutely hopeless.
So then 2 overs remaining, 13 required. Northampton need 133 to win. They haven't won since early June. Both of their T20 wins were their first 2 T20 games. They won a couple in the knockout tournament as well, reached the third round of that. Derbyshire, as luck would have it, were drawn against Yorkshire and lost up at Harrogate in that one. But both of these sides needing a win to stay in contention of reaching finals day at Wantage Road. I think it's next Saturday.
It is a week tomorrow, yeah.
Here is McDonald then, over the wicket. The left arm, but she's going for the scoop. It's up in the air. It was Lenny Sims playing it. They think about 2 and decide against it. It's a poor throw in from McCollum. He's not the greatest of outings as the 12th player, the substitute fielder. You want to do everything right. You don't want to be anyone to know you're on there, really.
I'm not sure Paul quite covers it.
No.
That was a terrible throw.
There's pressure on this young
Calm
side
down,
now.
everybody.
Yeah.
Just stay calm like we are.
So then 12 needed off 11. It's going to go down to the wire unless there's a couple of loose deliveries that can be put away here. This is driven down to mid-off. Throw comes in at the stumps. Wouldn't have been far away, but again, they're just running on everything now, these two. And rightly so. They've realised it's going to be difficult to do it in boundaries. 11 needed of 10, 122 for 5.
Leicestershire need 21 off the last over against Yorkshire at Grace Road. They're not going to get those.
So the other result going Derbyshire's way. And up to the stumps. Sims on strike. She's 2 off 2. Howard at the other end, 15 off 13. Well bowled again by McDonald. There'll be a shy at the non-strikers end from the wicket keeper. And it's one leg by. Northampton won't care how they come now. A good start to this over by McDonald. But Nolan Davis, who has been expensive, she's going to have to bowl an outstanding final over for Derbyshire to win this by the looks of it.
I think so.
And McDonald leave have anything to work with. A wicket would be ideal now to bring a new batter to the crease. Oh, as it's got through the wicket keeper, it's wide, and that's the last thing Derbyshire needed there.
No.
You've got into this, Fletch, and how could you not? The crowd have got into it as well. I think a few of them will have been maybe checking checking the score and thinking we better get down here to watch the end of this before the men's game.
Well, they've had so little to shout about with the men haven't they, this season that it's just nice to have something to shout about, really.
Start drinking a little earlier as well.
Absolutely.
Never a bad thing.
Started at 3, but only for medicinal purposes.
McDonald, that's well bowled and well taken. A dot ball to make up for that wide. 8 needed off 8.
McDonald looks like she's just pulled something there. She's walking back very, very gingerly.
Goodness me, you could have Lara Shaw having to come on and bowl 2 balls
Yeah,
if she had to go off now.
It's going to be Nolan Davis, isn't
Yeah,
it?
you can't risk it now. And yeah, credit to Ella Porter, as much as she went wicketless for her first bowl of the season, certainly for Derbyshire, bowled really well. But for just 18, this is down the ground. This is going to be a crucial boundary. It's going, no, it's not going to find the rope. Again, it just plugs a little bit in the outfield, and it's just 2. It does mean it's 6 off 7 now. So if they clear the rope, they'll do it. Northants, that seems quite the task, because nobody's been able to do it so far in this match.
27 boundaries in the entire match. Derbyshire hit 15 fours. Northants have hit 12.
What time this would be to hit 6 for Lenny Sims. 1 ball left of the 19th over, 6 to win. And it's just dragged away. They'll come through for a single, and I think that's the right decision from Millie Gray at square leg, not to chance her arm.
Yeah, she's not right, McDonald.
No, she's bowled a decent over. Apart from that wide, she's going to limp. I mean, get yourself off now, and if you've got another subfielder, then come on. You don't want her having to race around for a catch. Hopefully they do have another subfielder, and the column's already on.
There are three girls I can see on the bench, but they're all wearing shorts, so nobody's particularly ready to come on.
That could be, if there's a pivotal moment that falls to her, then that could be concerning for Derbyshire. But she bowled a good over, as you say. She had a couple of balls left, and she looked to be feeling something. So 1 over remaining, 5 needed of 6. Anytime the game is in this situation, you would favour the batting side.
No
Sims
question.
is 5 of 6. Howarth is 15 of 13. It's been an excellent game of cricket, but a bit of everything here.
2 wickets off the first ball. First 2 balls.
That would
2
be
wickets off the first ball would be outstanding.
That would
but
be
2
something.
wickets off the first 2 balls. Come on, Freddie, cut me some slack.
There is
I'm
no.
nervous.
You're
I'm
certain
nervous.
we all are. Here's Nolan Davis. Bowls wide outside off stump. Big piece of fielding here. Throw at the stumps. Oh, it's just evaded them. Nolan Davis has taken out the stumps of her body in the end, so they're now within a boundary. I think you have to swing for it now if you're brave enough and just get this game done. That was close again. The running's been good, though, from these two. They've been brave. She would have been out by a mile as well, as we see on the replay, running to the non-strikers end. So I think it's Howard back and strike. It is Nolan Davis, full, cut away. Fielder will have to come round. I think there's 2 here, and there are. Throw comes back in, and there won't be a run out, and now they're just 2 away. The Steelbacks, big cheers, a round of applause.
All of a sudden, the Northamptonshire dugout has got very, very confident because they're going to win this game now, sadly.
Yeah, they've run really well. They've not scored many boundaries in the second half of this innings, but they are going to get over the line. We felt Derbyshire had competitive score, but maybe just a little short. And unless Nolan Davis can pull off a miracle, it's going to be the case.
McDonald's just saying, when yes, absolutely. You don't need anybody on the boundary now because if it places the gap, they're going to get the single anyway.
Anything out there is good. Is really 2 as well as Nolan Davis bowl. This is cut away. This could be the winning runs. I think it will be. The fielder comes round and they'll trot back for 2. And Northants have won. They've taken a big step towards a home finals day. As things stand, they go up to 2nd in the table if Yorkshire do close that out against Leicestershire Foxes. And Fletcher, a nail-biter at the end, but a well-controlled run chase, you have to say, and spearheaded by the captain, Gemma Marriott, who bowled brilliantly and batted really well for her half-century as well.
Yeah, no, fair play to Northamptonshire Steelbacks. They probably just about deserved to win that one. It was a very tight game. Again, a bit of revenge for losing at home to Derbyshire earlier in the season. 32 from Ariana Dowse, 54 from Gemma Marriott. I thought Ella Porter bowled absolutely beautifully since she was bowling for the first time this season. 4 overs for 18, a couple of wickets for Francesca Clark, and 1 each from McDonald and Darlow. But with 3 balls to spare, Northamptonshire Steelbacks win this one. Yorkshire have beaten Leicestershire by 12 runs, which means that Northamptonshire move up to second place in the table. They've got to hope that Derbyshire can now beat Leicestershire to keep them at finals day. I think that's how it's going to work out. Check out the table on the BBC Sport website.
Yeah, Derbyshire are done now in terms of their finals day, I hope, so they're just playing Leicestershire for pride.
Get yourselves down at Repton on Sunday if you want to see that one. Final game in the T20 Blast for Derbyshire. Freddie, it's been an absolute delight, mate.
Yeah, enjoyed that. And your first Derbyshire women game, I think you've enjoyed that.
It was
as well.
all right.
Yeah.
It was all right. Yeah, I don't get overexcited about anything.
No, we know that.
Yeah.
Apart from those final few overs. When that over with the 2 wickets falling
That was the
before
one.
the door was open. And,
Yeah.
But yeah, no, well, maybe we'll see one Derbyshire win later today.
I wouldn't bank on it. Freddie, thank you very much. Thank you for listening on the BBC Sport website and app, on BBC Sounds and on the Derbyshire stream as well. Don't forget, before I go, to be on BBC Radio Derby, FM, AM, and on BBC Sounds. We'll be on the stream as well, but the radio is always better. In the meantime, thanks to Freddie, and we'll see you for the men's game in the build-up starting in round about 35 minutes' time.
Clear.